West Ham, so a weekend in the capital for the correspondent. He'll be in his club in a smoking jacket come 9 o'clock tonight.
Yes, and who better to experience it with than Pat Nevin, who's sitting
the
next to
game
me.
or your club?
Well, he's no stranger to both of those environments, let me tell you.
Harsh, very harsh.
Thank you, Mark Chapman. Off we go. West Ham get the match underway. Chelsea against West Ham. Of course, this is a rivalry that goes back many years, long before the shiny badges of the Premier League. And it's fair to say, Pat, there's not much love lost between them.
Absolutely not. Chelsea feel as if they've gone a long way past West Ham now, but the joy that West Ham fans would get, and you can hear in the background, they're making themselves heard. They may be in the smaller numbers, those fans there, but they've travelled over from East London and they're making themselves heard. They'd love to win this one.
Yes, they are. Chelsea with the blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks here at Stamford Bridge. Much changed. 7 changes from Naples. I'll run you through that in a moment, but Pablo has won the ball back and has a chance to play it through. Castellanos is in the area, it's congested in there, and in the end the shot that he did manage to get in from a tight angle, Chalobah was there with him. It lacked power from the angle and Sanchez was able to deal with it comfortably.
A really good play there by Pablo though, wasn't it? He won the ball off Caicedo. And you don't think of Caicedo, but once in just about every game there's a wee lapse in concentration from Caicedo. Often happens early in the game. Chelsea fans will hope that is the one lapse. Almost let her go, or at least a chance.
Yes. Chelsea 0, West Ham 0. 5 live from the BBC. Chelsea, there's no Estevao today. He's missing for personal reasons. We understand that he's travelled back to Brazil. But also, João Pedro, top scorer, is on the bench. Neto's on the bench. Captain James is on the bench. Also, Santos, Cucurella and Fofana, all substitutes today as Chelsea win the ball back. And here is Garnacho, still halfway inside his own half, and then back to Fernandes. So the Chelsea team is Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Chalobah, Badiashile and Hato. As Todibo's got to be careful here, being put under a lot of pressure by Cole Palmer, and he forces the West Ham defender to kick it out for a Chelsea throw down the right. Then Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo in midfield, Cole Palmer starting for Chelsea. Here he is on the ball. Gittins and Garnacho in the wide positions, and Liam Delap through the middle, and it is Gittins who overruns it infield, but it's only being cleared out. Back to Chelsea. Then the cross comes in from Palmer. Oh, it hits Wan-Bissaka. Could have gone anywhere. Garnacho though has still got it. Ball still in the West Ham box. Fernandez's half shot, that was blocked, and it is hacked away by Wan-Bissaka, who made a crucial, what do we call it, Pat? An interception. Actually, Chelsea are back in possession again with Gittins, but go back towards the halfway line. And here is Palmer. Looks bright, even though he's only been involved in a couple of moments so far, but his cross is actually straight into Todibo, who's able to clear it out for a throw.
I think Nuno will be very disappointed in one of his star players there. Fernandes basically jumped out of a tackle against Caicedo, and that led to that massive amount of pressure that his team was under. When you're playing at this level, you must commit to those sort of tackles if you're a central midfield player, and that's from someone who really rates Fernandes. He's been brilliant this season.
Yeah, Chelsea 4 wins in a row to come into this. They've won 5 out of Liam Rosenior's 6 matches. The only defeat was the first leg here against Arsenal. It's the second leg on Tuesday night at the Emirates. Listen to that with us on Tuesday. West Ham, they've had a week to prepare for this. They've won 3 matches in a row in all competitions to give them new hope that they might be able to get out of the relegation zone. They are third bottom still. Areola in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos, Todibo and Diouf are their back 4. So Diouf starting for the first time since the Africa Cup of Nations, as Mavropanos is just able to shepherd the ball out under pressure from Delap for a goal kick to West Ham. Then Souček and Fernandes in the midfield, and then the captain Bowen on the right, Somerville on the left, who scored in all 3 of the recent wins, his first goals of the season, but 3 in a row. And then Pablo and Kati Castellanos, the 2 new forward players who I'm seeing for the first time. Pat, I suspect you are as well.
Yeah, well,
Live.
in the flesh anyway.
Yeah.
Watched a lot about them before, and I'm very impressed by them. Work ethic's been really good. They look to have a much better balance about their team just now, and a kind of group spirit about their team now. And, you know, Paqueta, we all know that we had real talents, but sometimes thought the attitude wasn't absolutely perfect for the team, whereas these players, I'm really impressed with the way they've got stuck in for the group.
Yep, Paquetá has gone. He has now signed for Flamengo, so they've released the pictures of him being unveiled, signing his contract, so no Paquetá anymore, as West Ham go long through the middle, but Badiashile got his head to that, and then it was touched back with his head by Chalobah, back to goalkeeper Sanchez, who passes it out through the middle. Chelsea on the move from right to left, attacking towards the shed stand. It is Fernandes, the captain, to Garnacho with the bleach blonde hair. Last time I was here, he scored 2 goals against Arsenal. Gets it back. His cross in is cleared away from near the penalty spot by Souček, and Garnacho is just going to allow it to roll over the white line for the first corner of the match to the home side, to Chelsea.
No lack of confidence from Garnacho. He really has started looking lively. That game you mentioned there, obviously against Arsenal, scoring the goals when he had a chance when he come on, but against Wan-Bissaka, that's going to be a really nice battle tonight, alongside the one on the other side, Somerville against Gusto. Keep an eye on that one.
Yep. So it's a corner to Chelsea. Fernandes takes it into the 6-yard box. Areola punched it, not convincingly. Barely cleared the 6-yard box. He was under severe pressure, I should add, but West Ham were able to deal with it. Gusto now is going to curl one in, but over everyone, and it bounces through to West Ham. Cheers from behind the goal at that end. Of course they are here in good number in their claret and blue, Pat.
Yeah, they are making a good noise, and Jim, we talk about many of the changes in the game just now, the physicality, the ball being put in the box, the throw-ins, all that sort of stuff. More direct play from some teams. But the lack of protection, and I'll put that in inverted commas, for the goalkeepers, is possibly the biggest change yet. The pressure that he was put under there, Areola, up until a couple of years ago, that would have been given as a free kick without even a consideration. Now it's allowed to carry on.
You mentioned Wan-Bissaka and Garnacho. It's at the other end of the field, those two, and Wan-Bissaka got the better of him, and Bowen plays it in, and it's gone all the way in, and West Ham have an early lead. Pablo stuck out a leg. I don't think he got a touch. I think it was Bowen's goal from out on the flank. Sanchez perhaps distracted by Pablo, and it bounced all the way in, might have just kissed the post, and West Ham lead at Stamford Bridge 1-0.
Oh, we had a great feel of it. We are right behind it, and I'm with you 100%. I don't think anyone touched that at all with Bowen, put it in there. Great cross, dangerous area. Keeper had no choice. He had to kind of expect a little touch there from centre forward. It never came, sneaked in. But just watching Wan-Bissaka there, he did leave Garnacho behind. I mentioned before that it's going to be an interesting battle between them two. Garnacho got back, but didn't get close enough. You got to get close enough there. You got to stop the cross going in. That didn't happen with Garnacho, and the ball goes into the corner, 1-0. And what a start we've got to this game.
Seemed to have a nice little bit of spin on it as well, because he hit it with bend. Yeah. What was intended to be a cross, I'm sure.
To be fair, Bowen's got that in the locker, hasn't he?
Yeah.
We all know his capabilities. And just talking about the balance that they've got now, because Bowen's been asked to do a very specific job, it's wide. You know Somerville's going to do it the other side. And those two others through the middle, they can interchange Castellanos and Pablo. They just look like a pair working together. It's, as I say, I like the balance of this West Ham squad, and it's paid off. What a lift that's given them, on top of the lift they've had these last 3 games.
Hasn't it just? West Ham, let me tell you, have not won at Stamford Bridge for over 6 years, but they've got an early lead. However, they had an early lead last season here when Jared Bowen scored. Saying that, it was just before half-time. They lost. Earlier this season against Chelsea at their own stadium, they had an early lead through Paquetá. They lost 5-1. So John, this is going to be different.
John, I'm not a gambling man, but I wouldn't put any money on a 1-0 today. Absolutely not. They're not those types of teams. They're too open. They're quite attack-minded, and both have weaknesses at the back, let's be fair.
So it is Chelsea 0, West Ham 1. I think given West Ham's form, it would be unfair to call it a shock lead. And remember, Chelsea have lost 3 times in the Premier League here this season. However, I'm not sure too many were expecting it. Jared Bowen scored from the penalty spot against Sunderland last weekend, which was their 3rd win in a row. Now the goal from open play. 8 now in all competitions this season for the West Ham top scorer and captain and England player. So West Ham, claret shirts, white shorts, claret socks. I mentioned that West Ham have not won here for over 6 years. Chelsea have lost one of their last 19 home league matches to West Ham. But as Pat rightly said, very different personnel now, different set of players, different people, new match. Here's Garnacho on the left wing, Garnacho infield to Fernandes. That goes square to Gusto, middle of the half. Chelsea, who went to Naples and back, involved in a high pressure match against Napoli. Liam Rosenior's best day so far in the job to win that match, clinch a place in the top 8 of the league phase of the Champions League, and also to boot knocking out former Chelsea manager Antonio Conte's team from the Champions League. That enhanced his status, I think, all round.
It certainly did, although if you did watch the game closely, I think it was 7 players that Napoli were without. The fact that Chelsea were second best team on the night, probably, for the amount of chances that Napoli even managed to create from that. But there was some brilliant individual play, and of course João Pedro more than anyone else with his 2 goals helped win it for Chelsea and for Liam Rosenior.
But already here, back at Stamford Bridge, they've got a battle on their hands against West Ham, who, don't forget, in that 3 wins in a row, won away at Tottenham. Now they're winning away at Chelsea. That would be quite a double in 2 Premier League away matches. Chelsea in possession. Here's Fernandes. The Bowen comes across, however, he is able to find the pass to Garnacho, who looks to cross, but Wan-Bissaka tight on him. That's that contest you were talking about. Corner though to Chelsea.
It's really good, you know. Obviously I look at very closely at wingers and fullbacks, and Wan-Bissaka is saying, go down the line, on you go, just go, because I can get you, I'll catch you. And that is one of Bissaka's biggest strength, isn't it? That long, almost telescopic leg that comes out, and he did it once again there.
West Ham supporters have a bit of fun as Fernandes plays it into the 6-yard box. Areola got a better punch this time, but just as last time, crowded. And then as the ball is brought forward for West Ham by Somerville, he committed the foul. There was a hand in the back, down went the Chelsea man, and that is given as a free kick as West Ham looked to break away. Gittins, the player who felt the contact and went down from Somerville.
Yeah, I think he might have got a little bit of a tap in the back of his heel as well, which is a shame for Somerville, because it was in real trouble going back there. And Gusto, and I'm not sure, it was Gittins, wasn't it? I'm not sure he had the pace. So I think Somerville made the mistake there. Just chase him down, don't need to push.
Chelsea very nearly give it away there, and do give it away now. Fernandes, careless pass to Caicedo, then Fernandes, Somerville into the area, back to Fernandes, the angle tight, but he shoots straight into the legs of Chalobah, and the ball ricochets away out for a throw on the left-hand side. Well, uncharacteristic errors in midfield from Chelsea.
Well, they look very dodgy at the back as well. I mean, yet that's Caicedo again getting caught in the ball. You can't get caught if you're the last central midfield player.
Here's Diouf, head down into the penalty area, the West Ham left back, and then overruns it, went down in between 2 Chelsea players. Some shouts from the other end from the West Ham fans, but the ball had gone, and it's a goal kick.
It is one of the oldest ones in the book when you talk about football. I mean, you can change lots of things, but see, when you change your back line, it always has an effect, because you've got players that aren't always playing with each other all the time, week in, week out, against top class opposition. At the moment, it's looking a bit rickety in that back line for Chelsea, particularly I would suggest on the right hand side, even though the goal came from their left hand side.
Yeah, and the West Ham left back, El Hadj Malik Diouf, who was away with Senegal winning the Africa Cup of Nations. You know, to have someone like that, who was a regular starter for Senegal during the tournament and in that extraordinary final, to have him coming in, having just won a trophy, that's got to help. Scholes on the bench today. Bowen's doing well, the West Ham goal scorer. Might have been fouled, actually. Nuno felt that. It was just in front of where he stands in the technical area, but the ball all the way back with goalkeeper Areola. And here is Diouf, the long-legged Diouf with his orange boots. Then Somerville infield. Souček back over there to Diouf, who plays it back towards the edge of the penalty area. Confidence from West Ham. So it's only really a matter of days since you looked at them and thought they looked bereft of confidence. Here's Bowen, does well on the halfway line, that's nice too. Into the path of Wan-Bissaka, who's crossed, only half cleared away by Badiashile. Then Castellanos plays it back from the angle, a shot from Castellanos, but it's straight at the goalkeeper. Went for power, but hit it straight at Sanchez, who was able to parry it and collect.
Well, Chelsea might have more of the ball so far, but they certainly don't look the more dangerous. Every time they break, West Ham, right hand side, left hand side, it doesn't matter. The intelligence of Bowen there with the ball, just cuts inside, takes 2 players out, flicks it through, and leaves his mate there a brilliant chance. And Pablo as Castellanos gets the ball on target. Really tough for the goalkeeper to move, but he just stays big, gets trapped between his legs and gets away with it. But that's 2 really good chances for West Ham in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, Castellanos, who was an Argentine international, was signed from Lazio. So the 2 of them, Pablo and Castellanos, with Paquetá being sold for around about 35-40 million pounds, a total of just short of 50 million was spent on Pablo from Gil Vicente in Portugal and Castellanos from Lazio. And Castellanos scored against QPR in the Cup, but yet to get off the mark in the Premier League. That was a chance, but as I say, went for power straight at the goalkeeper.
It just strikes me as it looks like a good deal, because Paquetá, for all we know the talent, but the numbers weren't actually adding up. The number of goals and the number of assists, they weren't adding up.
Oh, Caicedo, lovely, just plays the ball forward. And now Garnacho has got it, angles it back to Fernandes. Fernandes is right for the ball, curling towards Gittins, comes off the head of Duke behind for a corner. He was not 100% certain where Gittins was behind him. Got a touch, it's a corner to Chelsea from the right this time.
Bit of a shame for Gittins, because all the ball for Chelsea's gone the left-hand side. It's gone, and Garnacho gets it time and time again. He's actually stopped trying to get down the line because he doesn't believe he's got the pace of Wan-Bissaka. Whereas over the far side, Gittins, he's hardly had a kick.
What an odd corner that was by Palmer, who played it back for Gittins, who I'm not sure was looking, and the ball went past him, almost back to the halfway line. Palmer, then to Fernandes, who is challenged from behind by Somerville. It was a clumsy challenge, and referee Anthony Taylor, who's not always the Chelsea favourite, has given Chelsea this free kick.
I must admit, if I was refereeing, I wouldn't have been mad keen in giving that one. I think he got the ball nice and clean there. First of all, gets the ball nice and clean. Yeah, there's follow through and you get contact with the player, but he gets the ball first, and quite clearly gets the ball first.
So
you sound as if you don't agree.
No, I do agree. I do agree. I made that sort of noise because it means that Chelsea have got a free kick in a good position from that decision. Yeah. 20, probably best part of 25 yards out, given the angle. Cole Palmer looks interested, Pat.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 yards further out than Cole Palmer would prefer. On the other hand, I actually think you've moved. They tried to move it there just as I said that.
Did they?
Yeah,
they have taken it back.
Yeah, the referee spotted them trying to do that
because the white line had disappeared.
Can I give you an actual fact? I don't think that's where the foul happened. I think it happened there a yard or 2 further on. Anyway, matters not. Here's Cole Palmer.
Right, free kick. Cole Palmer sets himself this frustrating season. Stop-start, just 5 goals scored by Cole Palmer, the man who scored 18 last season. Palmer stands to the right of the ball at an angle. Left-footed free kick over the wall, but Areola is getting a good sight of that. He was in a good position and he jumped into the air as he patted it down the West Ham goalkeeper.
And that's the difference to that extra couple of yards he wanted further forward there. It gives the keeper time to see it. You see the angle it's coming at, and they can't block out the view of it as well. And a very easy one for Areola, but at least it's a shot on target for Chelsea and one for Cole Palmer too.
Chelsea 0, West Ham 1. Jared Bowen, the goal scorer in the 7th minute. This is 5 Live from the BBC. Listen as well via the BBC Sounds app. Though all of your live radio is on there, you can pause, rewind the live radio. And already today, if you've been listening, what a performance it sounded from Arsenal. 4-0 at Leeds. We've already had Noni Madueke on, who's in Sports Report, described it as a fantastic performance. Noni Madueke, so Arsenal 7 points clear at the top of the table again. Brighton 1, Everton 1. An equaliser from Beto in the 7th minute of added time, so 1-1 there. Wolves 0, Bournemouth 2 as well, and we'll have reaction to all of that, further reaction at half-time. West Ham with the ball just in front of their own penalty area, and some of the footballing highlights elsewhere. Coventry lost at QPR, not far from here. And Middlesbrough won 1-0 against Norwich, so Those two are level on points now at the top of the table. Coventry with the better goal difference, and Hull City third, winning 1-0 at Blackburn. And today's highlight so far in Scotland, I think, Pat, win for fourth place Motherwell at bottom of the table, Livingston. But maybe the highlights to come later, with Dundee United against Hearts kicking off at 8 o'clock this evening.
And you didn't even mention the Tweedmouth Kettle curling competition in Scotland, won by a Mrs. A. Nevin.
Yes.
Or her team.
Yes, the Borders Kettle was decided this afternoon. So look out for that. There'll be a long article on The Athletic, I would imagine. Chelsea 0, West Ham 1. Throw in to West Ham on the halfway line.
They look quite comfortable, don't they, West Ham?
Yeah, they do.
They really do.
It's the best. I've seen them live this season, which isn't saying a great deal.
I mentioned comfortable, but you know what I mean by balance. Yeah, everything looks right. Everything works well with each other. There's a good understanding with each of the players. And you said right in the first couple of minutes, there's a confidence about the team, and you can kind of feel it coming off them. And obviously the goals helped as well, but really nice start from West Ham. Although I'm not shocked by it. I do think the changes and the new signings have made massive difference.
It is only Nuno's 20th match as the manager of West Ham. Ball cleared away from Sanchez from his own 6-yard area with his right foot. Mind you, already for Nuno, that's more matches than he had in his entire Tottenham career as the manager. Here's Fernandes passing it forward to Garnacho now against Wan-Bissaka, who came close, still halfway inside the half, but also Bowen battling back, and then the ball is given away actually by Fernandes, back to Garnacho, and then Garnacho's ball in field evades both Fernandes and in centre field Harto, the left back, and West Ham have got it back inside their own half.
Do you know, Chelsea fans have got a very strange relationship with Garnacho. It's not a good one at this point in time. He's stopped trying to go past Wan-Bissaka. He's now passing it back, and actually the last 3 passes have went to Claret and Amber Shuck, so there's a bit of a feeling there. He's got to do something to lift his esteem with the Chelsea fans just now. He started confidently, but it's drifted away.
Well, it's an interesting time to be a Chelsea supporter, and I think the relationship with some of the traditional Chelsea fans and the club, what shall we say, has got a lot of improving to do. I've been reading the most recent CFC UK fanzine, and some of the articles in there make it absolutely clear how the supporters feel about the way that the club is run from the top.
Yeah, from within the supporters that you meet and talk to, there is a very, very bad feeling around the place, and a discomfort with many things. And when you think about it, Club World Champions, and obviously 2 trophies last season as well. You can say, what's your complaint? But they have spent a huge amount of money, and they expect a little bit more than what they've got so far. Anyway,
they do.
Chelsea have got a problem.
Yeah, they do, because they're going to have to make a change, it looks like. And there's a Chelsea player down on the far side. Is that Gittins?
I was trying to see if it's Gittins or Gusto. It looks as if it could be Gittins. He's got his back to it. He's lying on his back.
I think it is. So Liam Rossino has got a notepad out. He's gathered all of the players around. There's a big discussion going there. Actually, the same thing's happening with West Ham as well, and Nuno, while treatment is administered on the far side. Not sure what happened.
Well, we're just having another look at the goal there, and it's such a lovely ball in by Bowen. It's beautifully done, and it's really impossible to defend there. And if he'd got a touch as he was going in there, Pablo, he almost certainly would have scored as well. And you remember that Bowen actually almost created a goal just before that as well, for a little through ball. It was brilliant. And I have to say, the football fans' humour, and I know you're a great lover of their songs when they have the humour. When the West Ham fans singing when Cole Palmer didn't do so well with that free kick, "You're just a poor Jared Bowen." I thought that was they didn't use the word poor, but they're so quick, aren't they?
Well, Jared Bowen's played more for England this season than Cole Palmer has. Gittins is on his feet for the reason of Palmer's injuries.
I don't think he's acting it. I think sometimes they do that. Well, there looks to be some sort of step on his toe, which doesn't usually lead to a player getting taken off.
And I'm not sure the change is going to be made. I think Liam Rossini made it look like he was going to make a change, but actually had his notepad out now, ready to give some instructions to his
He's
team. 1-0
he's
down.
really not moving well over there in the far side.
And
So
it looked as though he just got maybe just got his toe stood
yeah,
on.
but if you've cracked it,
Yep.
then there's nothing you can do. That's weeks and weeks and weeks out. But in Pedro Neto, they've got a very, very good replacement.
Yeah, they certainly have. And there's no Estevao today, just in case you switched on, so he's not involved. He's had to step out of this match for personal reasons. Chelsea with the ball at the back, playing with 10 men at the moment. There's lots of activity going down there, lots of grey anoraks.
There is another thing they could do. They could move Cole Palmer to stick out wide and put João Pedro in behind and bring João Pedro in. That might be a wee bit more tempting for the manager, because João Pedro's been in such good goal scoring form and Chelsea need a goal.
Yep. And Chelsea it is, with Caicedo playing it forward to Delap, who's barely been in the game. Delap, and this time Juve comes across, is able to play it back to Areola, who clears from the halfway 6-yard box to the halfway line. It is going to be Pedro Neto coming on, Pat. We've just seen him step forward, haven't we, into our eye line, way down below us from our position up here at the top of the East Stand. And yeah, that's it for Gittins, who actually in Italy came on as a substitute and then was substituted by Badiashile, and now he's lasted only 25 minutes of this match and gone off with what looks like a foot problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes these innocuous ones where someone's standing on their toe, as I say, if it's broken or cracked or a hairline crack, it can be a horrible injury. It's hard to go over.
I think it was Somerville, wasn't it, who
Nothing deliberate.
stepped on him. No, yeah. So Pedro Neto is on, and he's taken up a position on the right-hand side. West Ham with the ball in the Chelsea left-back area. It's cleared away to the edge of the box to Fernandes. Now here's Souček. Souček has Wan-Bissaka ahead of him. He's been forced out wide by Fernandes. It goes down rather easily. The ball's run out of play, and it has been given only as a Chelsea throw-in.
Has he given it as a free kick or a throw-in?
Throw-in, I think.
I thought it was a free kick he gave.
He has given it as a...
I think he fell in his hand.
And
his hand on the ball, yeah. I think that's what happened there. Yeah. So get a chance for Sanchez to take the free kick in that area. Won't make a great deal of difference, it has to be said. But Chelsea have got Neto on, and if you ask most of the Chelsea fans, I don't think that makes them weaker, really, because of the experience you got from Neto.
Yeah. In actual fact, he didn't fall on the ball, Souček. He went down expecting a free kick and actually put his hands on the ball, and therefore handballed it and conceded a free kick. Here's Gusto down the right. Gusto's cross to the back post. Wan-Bissaka stretching, got his head to it. Garnacho tried to bring it down, but there is the ever energetic Jared Bowen back in his own right back area, blasting the ball forward. It hits Badiashile and bounces out of play for a West Ham throw.
Do you know, Bowen scored the goal. And you know what it's like, if you score a goal, you sometimes get a chance of getting man of the match, even though you weren't man of the match or anything close to it. He's been the best player on the pitch so far. I think he's been absolutely superb, and he's certainly deserving to be the player who's actually put his team ahead.
Over an extended period of time, I think you would probably call Jared Bowen West Ham's best player, pound for pound, as they say. Definitely. In the boxing world. There is boxing on 5 Live tonight and on Sports Extra, live from Newcastle, and it's on Sports Extra from 7 o'clock, and then later on 5 Live when Josh Kelly fights for the world title. Jared Bowen now, that is 64 goals for West Ham in the Premier League and 40 assists as well. That's not bad. Long ball forward for West Ham. This is for Pablo to chase, but I think it will bounce out of play, and it is Chelsea's ball. When we had that stoppage for the Gittins injury, I noticed the TV picture showing the goal over again, I think trying to establish whether or not Pablo did get the tiniest of touches on it, but I don't think he did.
No, I think we had a fabulous angle. I think any camera that looked at wouldn't have had a better angle than we had, but we certainly didn't think it was the case, and that's what completely confused the goalkeeper, because he thought Pablo was going to get the end of it. And that's been the good thing, when they've got down the right and the left, Chelsea almost gave the ball away again there in the midfield. Really dangerous.
Bowen again almost onto it, but just actually, as it came to him so quickly, it was a heavy touch, and Chelsea have got it back. Chelsea 0, West Ham 1. That is Pat Nevin with us, of course. Scotland international, Everton winger, twice Chelsea's player of the year. Always enjoy walking around Stamford Bridge when we go past the shed, the old shed wall there. You know, as I say, the traditional fans feel that there are a lot of things that aren't right with Chelsea right now, but when you walk past there and see the Chelsea history, it's like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, that old Chelsea shed wall that you really cannot fail to get a grasp of the history of this football club. But 1-0 down to West Ham they are, and just patting the ball around at the back at the moment. Gusto comes in field. I mean, he's got lots of options, Liam Rossigna, with the players that he's got on the bench. Already had to bring Neto on. Here's Fernandes, who's not had the best of starts to the match. Fernandes takes it forward, gives it to Garnacho to his left, who in those jet black boots ends up taking it back towards the halfway line.
Again, maybe for the 4th time in a row. If you're a winger, you've got to try it. Go past them, go and have a go.
He's got another chance now against Wan-Bissaka, takes him on. Wan-Bissaka blocks the cross. It's out of play for a throw.
To be honest, Wan-Bissaka, it's the classic. So far, Wan-Bissaka's got Garnacho in his pocket. He absolutely has. He's like almost a matador saying, "Yeah, go that way, go that way, go that way, I'll get you." And it's playing the head with Garnacho. But as I often say, the winger only has to get past once.
Two former Manchester United men, aren't they? Wan-Bissaka and Garnacho. And here's the former Manchester City man, Cole Palmer, with lots and lots of talk about the possibility of him going back to Manchester. We will see about that. Palmer playing the ball infield towards Gusto with his thick hair tied up in a ponytail. Back to Garnacho. Garnacho turns and Jared Bowen's there again to get a foot in, although Garnacho's back at him and has won it back and gives it to Hartel, and the Dutchman now to Caicedo into the penalty area. It's very tight in there, tries to get the shot in, tried to bend it, and actually bent away from goal rather than towards it, and it ended up going out probably halfway to the corner flag.
Do you know, there are wee stories within games, but you can't ignore the Garnacho versus Wan-Bissaka one now, can you? Because it's constantly happening. Chelsea want to play the ball to the left all the time, but nothing's happening at all. And you almost say either A, get Garnacho to switch and get Neto over the left hand side, or start playing the ball to Neto a little bit, give him a chance to run at his fullback.
Yeah, West Ham coming into this, I say they're on their best run under Nuno, these 3 wins in a row, but they are still in 3rd position. And let us not forget, they've got the worst defensive record in the Premier League this season coming into this round of matches. And I think another little dose of reality for West Ham, they've kept 1 clean sheet all season in all competitions, and that was August. 1 clean sheet in 25 matches, as Neto does get a chance to attack down the right hand side. The Chelsea fans claim that the final touch was off a West Ham leg, but the assistant over there disagrees. It's a throw into West Ham.
Bit of frustration there, Neto having a bit of dig at the assistant referee over there. Had he had that sort of reaction to the referee, I think he'd have gone in the book. But a little bit of leniency there from the assistant referee.
Anthony Taylor might just have a word when he gets close to Neto. This is this very experienced trio of officials. Gary Bezic on this side, Adam Nunn on the far side, and Anthony Taylor, probably the World Cup combination together, or one of the World Cup combinations representing England. Chelsea on the left, goes back to the halfway line from Garnacho, and then Chelsea start again and give it to Neto over there on the right hand side, the Chelsea right wing. He's up against Juve. Neto is able to find the pass infield to Caicedo, but he's quickly closed down by Castellanos. And now Palmer, 25 yards out. Here's the pass to Garnacho, controls it, goes for the early cross to the back post. Juve got his head to it and was able to get his head and then flick it away behind for a corner to Chelsea from the right that Neto is going to take.
Yeah, it's Cole Palmer getting the ball where he likes to get it, in a little bit of a hole there. Played a really nice pass left, but Chelsea, good cross in, but nothing came of it other than the corner.
Well, after that poor last corner from the far side, Palmer's been sacked. Neto is going to take it, left-footed into the near post, came off a West Ham head, headed away from goal, still inside the penalty area. Fernandes heads forward, then there's a header away for West Ham, and then Fernandes is able to play it back to Pablo, and Pablo bouncing ball. Fernandes again. Wan-Bissaka's done well, he's found space on the right hand side and the pass finds him. Now it is Wan-Bissaka. Garnacho's come back, still going Wan-Bissaka into the box now, right footed cross, oh delicious, but no one there to get a head to it. Beautiful curl on that, but Castellanos in the middle wasn't close enough to it.
I'm very, very impressed with Wan-Bissaka. They're flying forward, they're getting a really good cross in. Now, not to put too fine a point on it, crossing the ball is not his strength, not what he's best at all. He often feels if he should pass for someone else to put it in, but he put it into the right area there. Just no West Ham player was tall enough to get on the end of it.
No, needed an Erling Haaland, really, didn't get that sort of cross. Chelsea 0, West Ham 1, 5 live from the BBC. And now Castellanos down the right-hand side into the penalty area. His cross is cleared away by Chalobah. And then Souček wins the challenge. Wan-Bissaka jumps against Fernandes. That's cleared away by Badiashile. Headed forward for West Ham by Mavropanos, but then away from the defence by Badiashile. And West Ham's goalkeeper Areola has the ball at his feet again. Chelsea 0, West Ham 1. If you've just joined us after an afternoon out, we will round up all of the football and sporting action for you at half-time. West Ham win a free kick for Delap, who's just a little bit over-exuberant on Mavropanos, and Anthony Taylor is going to just have a word, Pat, with Delap.
You know what that is, don't you? It's pure frustration, utter frustration. Delap, I mean, you never question his work ethic, you know, and he's putting every effort in there. He can't get a kick of the ball. No one's giving him any good service.
Joao Pedro on the bench. Long pass forward, Bourne takes it down. Wan-Bissaka into the area, he angles it back. Oh, Somerville! 2-0 West Ham! Right foot flew past Sanchez. What about this? West Ham on the rise. They've not won at Stamford Bridge for over 6 years, but now Chelsea are 2-0 down. And Somerville scores in a 4th consecutive match. And this one tops the lot. Chelsea 0, West Ham 2.
You know, as impressive as header was the other day, which went in like a bullet, well, this one went in like a high-powered bullet. Cut back there, Wan-Bissaka's in, he's not always the best at crossing. He just cut it back into an area there, and Somerville's coming on, and he hasn't tried to take a touch. He has just leathered it, caught it on the volley. But what was most amazing there, it's a great move down the right-hand side. But when Bowen got the ball wide, you could see it coming. You could see it coming 5 seconds before that ball was actually in the net, because he played it into an area that the Wan-Bissaka was running into. There was no cover. Once again, he'd been left by Garnacho, who I would be absolutely shocked if he finishes this game, because everything's come down that side and he's not really provided anything himself. But really so impressive. Great play by West Ham, and I have to say, John, deservedly 2-0 up.
Yeah, Chelsea have been off it. Liam Rosenior made the 7 changes. Chelsea have been to Naples and back, big match in the Champions League, but West Ham have been the better team. And who was expecting that we'd be saying that? And it looks, there's a long way to go, over half of the match, but what a good opportunity this is. Although Neto trying to find a way into the penalty area, went down as though he'd taken an arm in the face. Maybe he did take an arm in the face, but he certainly he made it look like that. And Anthony Taylor, the referee, wasn't interested. Not at all.
He's going to stop it and have a look at it now. I mean, you can get a bit of an injury. You can go down if it's an undeliberate, you caught. But he's certainly making it clear to the referee that he thinks he was, well, very, very badly hit with the way he's went. And there is, you can tell by my hesitation sometimes, can't you? Look, yes, there is a little bit of arm that goes past. It catches him in the lower neck. He has then held the front of his face.
It's Juve, the West Ham left back, who's trying to get himself ahead of Neto, and as he does so, of course, you know, there are legs and arms everywhere, and the arm is flung behind him. Neto is behind him, makes contact with the side of his face. He was trying to win a penalty.
I don't think he's going to get a penalty for that,
no,
personally. They'll have the look at it without a doubt. I would be stunned and shocked if VAR or any sensible person thought that was a penalty kick.
Michael Salisbury is the video assistant referee, just keeping half an eye on Anthony Taylor.
They must have a look. You've got to have a look.
He's actually calling across Juve, you know. And I know he's asking for the ball. Don't think we need to worry too much about that. I think once Neto has received treatment, I think play will be back underway. Just out of the corner of my eye, one of those ref cams is being used in this match, and sometimes it's a bit ho-hum. But Anthony Taylor's position, and they've just shown the pictures of the Somerville goal. It's actually a great point of view to watch that goal.
And one of the other things I have to say, if you learn things in a game, we learn things all the time if you keep your eyes open. See, watching those ref cams and how often the referees get themselves in good positions, I'm so impressed by them. So there's referees, everyone thinks they make terrible mistakes and lots of mistakes. They get 99% of things right and they get themselves into some great positions, and Anthony Taylor did so there.
Yes, and as Howard Webb will tell you, in the Premier League, the decisions on VAR are made faster than anywhere else. You might be surprised to hear. Here's Fernandez, is fouled by Caicedo. That's a free kick to West Ham. Well, this is a bit of a story here, isn't it, of the weekend? Chelsea 0, West Ham 2, and of course in the Premier League table, great deal of significance. This down the bottom end of the table, West Ham third bottom, but this would take them again to within 2 points of Nottingham Forest in 17th. Forest at home to Palace tomorrow.
They looked cut adrift. They really did, didn't they? You'd almost given up hope in them. And I think had they not made the changes they've made, particularly up front, they had no hope. But just look at the way they're playing, the comfort and the confidence they're playing. I think they've been absolutely superb today, and they have been for quite a few weeks, and you've got to say well done, Nuno, for getting the team playing like this. Now there's 5 minutes to half-time, John, and apart from the certainty we'll hear from Arteta at half-time, the other thing we're going to see is a change. And if João Pedro's not on the second half, probably for Garnacho, I'll be staggered.
Yeah, and well remembered, yes, Mikel Arteta. We're going to hear from the Arsenal manager after their 4-0 win at Leeds. Quite a statement that after the defeat against Manchester United last weekend, when they had an off day after a tough match in Europe, and now it's happening for Chelsea. But the ball, we're back with Areola, the goalkeeper, and I suppose, as I say, the question is, if West Ham are now able to keep their first clean sheet since August, then they're going to get the 3 points here. But Liam Rosenior has plenty of talent that he could bring off the bench. However, West Ham are going for another one now, and the ball is played forward by Pablo Souček with a cross, but it's behind Somerville, and Somerville had to slam the brakes on, and Neto has got it back on the field, played forward by Gusto, now in centre field, Fernandez. So West Ham leading with the first half goals from Bowen and Somerville, and Garnacho attacking down the left. Will he cut back? Yes, he does. Plays it back to Fernandez. Square from him to Palmer. Palmer rides the challenge, goes down under the challenge from Pablo, and this is a free kick, maybe 2 strides outside the D for Chelsea.
Yeah, that's exactly where. First of all, it's a penalty. It's a free kick, not a penalty. It's a free kick. It's in exactly sort of area, and once again, I think they've taken it 2 yards back from where it actually happened. I'm quite stunned by that. You take it because you know you can get too close, but you would happily take it a yard or two in from where it is just now. So the referee's taken it that extra yard or two back. The second time in a row that's happened for Chelsea. So the West Ham fans are probably not saying a poor Jared Bowen at the moment. They're just holding their breath as both Fernandez and Cole Palmer have a look at this one. This is a perfect position, isn't it, for Cole Palmer to some degree. Central,
maybe a smidgen right of centre. West Ham have put Somerville down on the pitch, so he's the skirting board, or whatever you want to call it.
What a difference this would make to the game.
Yes.
If Chelsea could score here.
West Ham, important for them to hold out here. We're in the 44th minute, West Ham leading 2-0. They'd love to get in with this scoreline, but this free kick, Cole Palmer just very coolly walks across, has a word with Fernandez. Looks as though it's going to be Enzo Fernandez to take it rather than Palmer, and he waits. There's the whistle. Enzo Fernandez with his right foot with the free kick, hits the wall, the jumping wall, comes back to Palmer for Chelsea, then back to the halfway line. Harto now over there to the right to Neto. Neto's left-footed cross into the area looking for Delap. He was beaten in the air by Todibo, headed away by Diouf. Then Gusto tries to win it back. He was jumping against Somerville. Oh, lovely flick infield for Somerville to take it on. Bowen it was who played the ball into his path. Somerville running and running, still going Somerville. Right foot shot, took a deflection which carried it wide. Well played West Ham, well played Somerville. They certainly posed a threat there. Chelsea trying to get back, and in the end it's a West Ham corner.
Even in the dark days at the start of the season, when West Ham did look awful and looked slow and looked tired and looked a bit old, Somerville's been a bright spark, hasn't he? He has been a ray of sunshine for that side, and he just got better and better and better. Maybe the one question mark was with the final ball up until recently. Well, that's there now, isn't it? He looks very, very special at the moment.
Amazing what goals can do. Now 4 goals in 4 matches, and he is brimming. And that after 28 appearances without scoring. Here's the West Ham corner into the near post where it was headed away by Harto. Juve gives it back over there to Somerville. 5 minutes of added time, still West Ham in possession. Those 5 minutes can't go past quickly enough. Oh, and that's a mistake by Fernandes in the centre circle. Well, all the West Ham players were forward, and then Garnacho is not able to find the pass to Fernandes. You can hear the frustration of the Chelsea fans. Wan-Bissaka takes it on. Now here's Bowen. Bowen goes past Fernandes, who goes to ground. Now he's up against Garnacho. Bowen gets the ball in, stretching leg away from Badiashile. Oh, Fernandes has lost it to Bowen. Now with the shot from the angle, Castellanos across the face of goal, and that's cleared away. It could easily have fallen to Pablo in the middle, and then West Ham still come again. Chelsea are being stretched here. They're clinging on. West Ham are thinking a third goal might be coming any moment now. Ball is flicked back across the penalty area, but then cleared away, and West Ham start again. And West Ham, Pat Nevin, I think a little unfortunate not to get a third.
Do you know what? The left-hand side of Chelsea has been shredded in this first half. Now, they've not got Cucurella on there. Neto sometimes plays on the left-hand side. It's a different side there. But they are being torn apart. I mean, they've lost 2 goals so far. They could have lost 2 or 3 more from their left-hand side alone. So you're talking about changes Chelsea have to make at half-time. They've made one, they have to make quite a few, defensively and offensively.
Mavropanos plays it forward, Castellanos with the touch. And now Pablo trying to weave away along the dead ball line. Actually, in the end, I think he had to hurdle a steward who was sitting there because he ran off the field. He almost jumped over him, but the ball had gone out. It's a goal.
But again, the confidence has really, really raised in West Ham just now. And there's a cockiness coming into their players, a couple of little back heels coming in. Maybe a tad early for that. I think Chelsea, when they're coming out in the second half, they will come out a different side. And you think for Liam Rosenior, this is a big test, isn't it? This is a big moment for him. What does he do now? This is when you have to make technical and tactical changes that adapt it to him, that change the team, that change the spirit of the ground. And by the way, it's not a good feeling on here, is it?
There's not. There is anger here, and I see Liam Rosenior has actually
those two,
Joao Pedro and Cucurella,
must come on.
Yeah.
They must come on.
Well,
second half.
He's calling them over, and I think he's probably going to say to them, here, Pat, you might as well get yourself
up to 100%.
Get yourself ready. But I think, you know, there is anger towards Garnacho. You can hear that. I think I heard boos in the crowd, and the way that Chelsea were clinging on there, 2-0 down against West Ham. And I'd be very surprised if we didn't hear a chorus of boos at the half-time when the whistle goes. Fernandes wins a free kick after he was fouled by Mateus Fernandes of West Ham. West Ham's Fernandes finishes in an S. Chelsea's Fernandes finishes in a Z. So that's how you'll be able to tell them apart during the commentary. Here's the free kick for Neto.
If Chelsea could score here, to go in 2-1 down after the performance, it would almost feel like a victory for Chelsea, because they'd be miles off it.
Well, Fernandes has given it to Garnacho, and you can hear the groans from the Chelsea supporters. Back to Fernandes, plays it in, comes off the head of Mavropanos, who didn't head it cleanly away, but then Castellanos was up there to head it further away, and Mateus Fernandes plays it back. He was a little fortunate there. Wan-Bissaka's going to do well to get himself out of a hole. He has done. He's been able to play it forward to Somerville, and then forward from Mateus Fernandes, and in the centre circle, Pablo loses out, and it's won back by Harto. Now Chelsea, deep in added time, in the 4th minute of added time, 2-0 down, trying to find a goal back before the break. Palmer attempted the nutmeg, but Souček was there behind Pablo and able to prevent Palmer from getting any further. And West Ham now winning a free kick. Yeah, well, clever play by Pablo. Chalobah just leaned into him, gets the free kick, and that might just see West Ham through to the break.
Yeah, I've got about 50 seconds or so left to go just now, but I mean, I'm just loving the way West Ham are playing out for the back. It's a really good football that they're playing right from the back there through the midfield. No one looks lacking in confidence on the ball. Everybody wants to go and try something. Everyone wants to show for the ball. That's when you know not just a couple of players are confident. The entire team has got a real belief in each other, which I can't believe I'm saying that about West Ham when I watched them earlier in the season and they were so poor.
2-0 to West Ham here at Stamford Bridge, where they haven't won for over 6 years. And now Wan-Bissaka receives it, but in comes the sliding challenge from Harto, and that was well timed. Out of play to West Ham corner though.
Right, last time I'm going to mention it. Right, how many times has Wan-Bissaka run away from his winger Garnacho? I mean, honestly, how many times? It's time and time again. Do you know, if you're a wide player and you're not getting by your fullback, their number 2 job is stop him doing anything, and it's just not happened in this first half. It's quite stunning.
West Ham corner. Just a bit of pushing and shoving in there. Bowen takes it anyway into the 6-yard box. Chelsea are able to head it away. Souček gets up, but then walloped away, and there is the half-time whistle. Listen to this. Well, for Liam Rosenior, I mean, these are still very early days for the new Chelsea head coach. Only the 7th match under him. He's won 5 out of 6, but 2-0 down at West Ham, at home to West Ham. The home supporters have let the team and the coach know what they think of that.
Yeah, I mean, basically it was an entire team that didn't play well today. I don't think you can look at one player there and say, yeah, you're a right good one in the midst of all that. Caicedo incredibly quiet, and Enzo Fernandez, you might have mentioned him twice during a game, and that's the heart of your midfield. I could go through the rest of the team, but to be honest, actually you've got to do Garnacho a favour. You've got to take him off. You've got to do it because they're turning on him now, and that cannot really bad. The last person I saw that happen to at Chelsea Football Club was Raheem Sterling, and it was horrible and it was ugly and it didn't look nice, and it felt really unfair and unfortunate. So, you know, do the lad a favour. He's not having a good day. Take him off and get some experience on there as much as you can. But forget Chelsea. Secondary, West Ham have been absolutely fantastic. Real joy to watch. Playing with a swagger by the end of the game. But the belief in each other, the brilliance of the right-hand side. Wan-Bissaka is one of the best games I've ever seen him play. But Bowen is off the scale. I mean, England, come on, how many players have you got in that position? Well, millions, I know. But he is up there. He is a special player. And the 2 players that they brought in, you know, Pablo and Castellanos, they have been superb. They've actually bullied the centre-backs for Chelsea as well. And that's before you get to Somerville, who once again has been startling as well. So what a job Chelsea have got to do. What a job Liam Rosenior's got to do. But West Ham, they can enjoy their cup of tea.
Yep, some scoreline this. Chelsea 0, West Ham 2.
I don't know whether you saw this on a monitor at the end or whether you were watching the players as they came off, but it looked like a couple of the Chelsea players gave a bit back to a couple of the Chelsea fans who might have given it to them. Including Robert Sanchez. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that at all, but you shouldn't do that. Now and again, you might feel like you do that when you've, you know, been playing brilliantly and have a wee bad little moment. But you need to take it sometimes. You know, people, I know how much it costs for a lot of these fans to turn up here.
Well, and that's the other thing with Garnacho, isn't it? You know, it's if you kind of wander around and don't track your man and give the impression of not running back, they're going to get on your back.
Well, I don't know if he was one of the ones that turned round, but
no, it wasn't him. It was Sanchez. I think it may have been Badiashile as well.
Yeah, well, Badiashile again should probably be quite quiet at this point in time. But in reality, if you're 2-0 down and at home and you haven't played well, and they won't pretend to themselves, you can't pretend that you've played well, you just take it. You suck it up and take it and say, we'll come back out and do something about it in the second half. However, that's secondary. There's a bit of, I think there'll be a bit of frustration in there with some of the players as well. But I mean, you could spend an eternity doing tactical stuff about, Garnacho. Honestly, as a winger, you dream of getting that amount of the ball in the final third, 1-on-1 with the defender. And what do? You turn backwards all the time. Yeah. I mean, what? I mean, really, what's your job? do it, and then if that's not working, you'd have to try it back. So I think Garnacho's head's completely and utterly wasted at the moment, because it's such a bad time. He's given the ball away. Hey, you can have a bad day like that. Problem is, there's nobody to dig him out of a hole, because if he had Cucurella alongside him playing well, might have helped him. But Hato's having a very tough time against Bowen, who's the best player in the pitch so far.
Pat, John, thank you very much. Cracking first half for West Ham. They lead at Stamford Bridge by 2-0. Second half on the way. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Brighton 1, Everton 1, Leeds 0, Arsenal 4, Wolves 0, Bournemouth 2 were how the 3 o'clocks finished. Reactions come during half-time to all of them. 8 o'clock tonight, Liverpool against Newcastle. In the Championship, there was a second defeat in 5 days for Coventry. Frank Lampard's side beaten 2-1 at QPR. So Middlesbrough are now level on points with them after they beat Norwich. Cardiff's lead at the top of League One is down to 2. They drew 2-2 at Burton, while second place Lincoln beat Wigan 1-0. Bromley now 6 clear at the top of League 2 after they put 4 past Gillingham. Cambridge have got second after they won at Oldham. Lower down, Bristol Rovers entered a run of 8 straight league home defeats with victory over Newport. And in the Scottish Premiership, there were wins for Kilmarnock and Motherwell. St Mirren against Dundee ended goalless. So reaction to the day's Premier League football to come. You'll hear from Mikel Arteta and Fabian Hürzeler, amongst others, after Stuart Clarkson and the news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Mark, thank you. Good evening. Photos have been released appearing to show Andrew Mountbatten Windsor kneeling on all fours over an unidentified female lying on the ground. They make up part of the latest batch of documents released by the US Justice Department relating to its investigation into the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Mr. Mountbatten Windsor hasn't commented on the photos, but has previously denied any wrongdoing. The Hamas-run civil defence agency in Gaza says renewed Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 39 people across the territory. Israel says it struck targets linked to Hamas and Islamic Jihad, accusing the groups of breaching the ceasefire. The Prime Minister has left Japan after holding talks with his counterpart Sanae Takichi. Sir Keir Starmer said relations between the countries were at their strongest in decades. And the former Football Association chairman Lord Treesman has died aged 82. He also served as a Foreign Office Minister and General Secretary of the Labour Party. Sir Tony Blair has paid tribute, saying Lord Treesman was a gentle, genuine, good guy who put others before himself naturally and without hesitation.
The original Hustler is back.
The next 12 weeks will be the toughest of your life.
And his new hustlers are gonna bring in the money.
We can go in at 10k.
For $10,000, we'd expect a private jet to go and see the pyramids.
What?
Gonna take on the world.
We're running about Hong Kong and it's absolutely chaotic.
Gonna face the music.
One of the worst performances in the history of this process. You're fired.
Hustlers gonna hustle. The Apprentice. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
West Ham lead at Chelsea by 2-0. Back for the second half shortly. Arsenal 7 clear at the top of the Premier League now after a 4-0 win at Leeds. Here's Mikel Arteta with Gary Flintoff.
Well, Mikel, you had a few things to deal with before kick-off today. All things considered, how impressed were you by your side today?
Really impressed. I think to win in the manner that we've done here against this team in this stadium, very difficult. So big credit and congratulations to the boys. We discussed the last few days how we want to approach the next few months. We have to approach this game. And we certainly enjoyed the difficult parts of the game that they were, especially at the beginning. And then, I think the resilience and determination that we play with give us the chance after to show the quality that we have in many areas to make the difference.
How is Bukayo? Any word on how long he could potentially be out for?
I don't know. It wasn't a big thing. He was a little niggle in the warm-up. He wasn't comfortable, so we decided to take him out straight away. And the good news is that Noni came in and he made an impact.
I mean, how good was he? I mean, mentality, physicality and ability all wrapped up in one today.
He's got everything. I think the quality and the potential of these kids is enormous, and he showed today. And every time we give him the chance, he's so willing to help and impact the team. So that's what we need.
And in terms of that overall feel, You know there's a bit of noise just bubbling away, but then you know there's always noise around Arsenal. But the suggestion was maybe it won't be this season again. But today, you smothered Leeds United, difficult venue, great 3 points. Did this sort of put down a marker today, do you feel?
I don't know. It will depend always in the results. So we will try to maintain the standards and what we do every single day. And then there are things that we can control and dominate. There are others that are so unpredictable in this game, and we need to stay away from them. So stay focused, stay very ambitious as we are, and let's go day by day.
You can enjoy your evening. Thank you.
Only Leeds' third home defeat in the league all season. Here's Daniel Farke.
Straight after the game, you're disappointed that you don't take anything out of this game. But for me, it was, of course, always clear we face the best side in Europe currently. They are top of the league in the Champions League, top of the league in the Premier League. If you want to win points against them, you need a perfect day, and you also need a bit of luck that they are not on it. And they were on it today from the first to the last second. We sadly didn't have a perfect day today, and for that, it's also no secret. And they were the better side today, fully deserved to win this game. And today we have to accept their quality.
On the flip side, my question to you is, how much does it show that you fancied your chances today and your players are disappointed coming away from the game today with nothing, considering how good a team they are?
Yes, expectations were high, so I think it's a sign of how well we have done over the last month, and performance-wise, result-wise, we had also against big names really good performances, really good results. But it's also realistic to say that not in each and every game against a big name you can win points, and this happened today. And for that, yes, instantly we are disappointed. Don't want to take this away, so I think it's a good sign. But we won't dwell under this game, and pretty quick we put it to bed, and then we move on.
Well, Beto got a second-half injury time equaliser for Everton at Brighton. Here's what the home side's boss Fabian Herzler made of it.
Happy with the overall performance. I said it before the game, we have to manage the key moments in the game better, and one moment cost us the game, and therefore it's painful, but we will come back.
Do you think you did enough to win the game today?
Yes, I think we did enough. I think especially the first half, we should be more ruthless in front of the goal. Then in the second half, I think Bart has a big save for us in the game, and then our subs made a good impact. We got the control of the game back, and in the end, it's a painful, but a moment where we keep on pushing, a moment where we will fight back.
And there were some boos at the end, so what's your reaction to that? What would your message be to the supporters?
I'm grateful, thankful for the support during the game. I think it's part of the football game that they share their emotions, and I think we all have to be open for that, especially myself, because I'm responsible for that, and therefore I think the atmosphere was great. They can be disappointed about my decisions, about my work, but what I can promise is that I will give everything for the club, that I fully committed together with the team, and therefore I'm open for feedback, but I really appreciate their support for the team, and hopefully they keep pushing the team.
Bottom of the table, Wolves were beaten 2-0 at home by Bournemouth. Here's Rob Edwards.
We have to fight. We have to fight to the end of the 38th game, and we will do that. We are improving and we are getting better, and that was a very good performance in good chunks of the game today, but come up against a team that only need moments to win games, and they took their moments and we didn't today.
Where do you feel you're at with this team now? Are they at the level that you want them to be at, or are you still working to get to there?
We still want to improve, of course, we always do. There's things that we can get better at, but there's a lot of things that we're doing way better than when we first came in. So I don't think they would have felt that was a comfortable game for them today, Bournemouth. I think it's results. We're in a results business, and that's what people will look at, and that's what I have to look at as well. But if we continue to perform that way and create those chances, then we will get more points.
Back to Stamford Bridge shortly, and then at 8 o'clock it's Liverpool-Newcastle. Charlie Slater there for us.
It is one of the great Premier League fixtures, often delivers goals, certainly did in August, but neither in sparkling league form. Liverpool still looking for their first win of 2026. They'll be without Jeremy Frimpong, so expect more shuffling at right back. Newcastle sweating over the fitness of Bruno Guimaraes. They might well need him, because while neutrals love this fixture, Geordies don't. They've not beaten Liverpool in the league for over a decade, and not one here at Anfield in 29 visits.
Also at 8 o'clock tonight, Hearts could go 7 clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership if they could win at Dundee United. Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, Mark, it's a wonderful time to be a fan of Scottish football at the moment, with the latest chapter in a fascinating title race being written in the city of Discovery tonight. League leaders' hearts with that chance to stretch the lead, as you say, clear of Rangers and Celtic, who play tomorrow. 8th place Dundee United, on the other hand, having an indifferent season after a bright start. Hearts won an absorbing meeting here 3-2 against the Tangerines on a sunny August afternoon at the beginning of the campaign. Recent rain means the pitch isn't as nice condition-wise as it was that day, but still intriguing to see what unfolds this evening.
Update to both those games during 6:06. Here's Chris.
Yep, want to hear from Arsenal fans this evening, Mark. I thought they were in crisis after that defeat by Manchester United, but big win today. You smell like champions. Leeds fans, could a defeat like that derail your season? Bournemouth fans, Iriola's 100th game in charge is not going to make 200. And just you talked about the Brighton result, 1-1. I'm hearing that Brighton fans aren't happy with Hertzler. Brighton fans, am I right with that? Everton, what a job David Moyes is doing. And in the Championship, Coventry, the wheels are coming off. The panic is setting in. Want to hear from Coventry fans why? 08085 909 693.
I thought you just said it was an overreaction to say Arsenal were in crisis. Now you say the wheels are coming off Coventry.
Well, they are, aren't they? They've lost 2 games on the spin, haven't they? Norwich City are schooling them in the week and then losing today. Let's hear from Coventry fans. They know Middlesbrough, big win for them today, wasn't it?
08085 909 693. Djokovic against Alcaraz, live on 5 Live tomorrow morning from 8:30 for the Australian Open men's final. We've got live boxing later. Josh Kelly's super welterweight title fight. That will be here on 5 Live from 9. Changes are plenty for the home side at Stamford Bridge. John Murray.
Yes, I think Chris and Aaron will be getting some Chelsea calls if it doesn't get any better for them. Liam Rosenior has acted though, Pat Nevin, made a triple substitution, so unsurprisingly Garnacho is substituted at half-time. Also Harto and Badiashile, with Fofana, Cucurella and João Pedro coming on.
Yeah, they made quite a few changes to the team, which is seen as the strongest team, and have simply went back to it. 2 of the changes, well, we called them before half-time, they were an absolute stick-on. But also Badiashile coming off for Fofana. So we'll see what effect that has on Chelsea. But they've now got plenty of attackers on, and certainly João Pedro will be disappointed he didn't start, I suspect.
This has the potential to be a very exciting second half. Chelsea 0, West Ham 2. West Ham not won here at Stamford Bridge for over 6 years, but leading through the goals from Bowen and an excellent goal from Somerville. But João Pedro into the action, couldn't find the little pass through to Delap. West Ham were able to defend that. Then it was played forward, and Chalobah comes across and gets there first, and with his right foot gives it back to his goalkeeper, Sanchez. So the Chelsea team now, and bearing in mind that Gittins had to go off injured in the first half and Pedro Neto came on, Liam Rosenior has already made 4 of his changes. So Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Chalobah, then substitute Fofana and substitute Cucurella. In midfield, Caicedo and Fernandes, and now Neto on the left, Palmer on the right, and João Pedro playing behind Liam Delap. And West Ham, unexpectedly, are exactly as they started the match, with Areola in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos, Todibo and Juve, Souček and Fernandes, Bowen, Pablo, Somerville and Castellanos. But Chelsea attacking towards the Matthew Harding stand in the second half. And here is Cucurella into the action, gives it back to Fernandes. Now a flick on the edge of the penalty area from Gusto, but West Ham are able to handle that, and Bowen takes it away, but it's won back by Chelsea. And actually, Pat, what we should say is, you know, when this team was named, and Chelsea, Caicedo's given it away on the halfway line, Castellanos is in there, then he goes down, and he was just eased over, went down. Gusto with a challenge, wins the free kick just right at the centre circle, so West Ham with this free kick. But, you know, Chelsea fans were saying to us, when they heard the team here tonight, that they were not sure about that selection at all. What was your gut feeling when you saw that team lineup?
Well,
7 changes.
Asked by quite a few people, you know, so it's another easy 3 points for Chelsea. And I said, no, it isn't. You have to look at the personnel there. And to make that amount of changes, and particularly to a back line, it's a huge thing. And well, you can tell that's exactly what's happened now. And having said that, on the left-hand side, I think it'll be a wee bit easier for Chelsea now. They've got the grown-ups on, as it were.
So it is West Ham, though, coming forward. Wan-Bissaka, who's been one of the men of the match for West Ham, takes it forward, plays it infield. Mateus Fernandes, now forward to Somerville. Somerville looking to get it back. In fact, it's Mateus Fernandes with a shot, and Sanchez diving to his right. The Chelsea goalkeeper was hit fiercely, parried it away. Then the ball in from the left-hand side from Diouf, bounced up, might have struck the arm of Fofana in the box, but I'm not sure there was a great deal he could do about it if it did. And then Palmer wins a free kick. Two West Ham players, Diouf and Fernandes, end up on top of him.
I tell you what, Somerville caught that, didn't he? Absolutely superb. Lovely little movement at the edge of the box, real belief in each other's ability and understanding between that front four. They've moved to each other, they've understood each other, they've linked up incredibly well. And there Chelsea were a little bit lucky. Well done, Sanchez makes a save, but that ball was played through the near post. It could have gone anywhere.
So it's Chelsea 0, West Ham 2, and Chelsea with this free kick at the back that was won by Palmer. Sanchez, the goalkeeper, plays it downfield, flicked on by Delap, and a foul on Diouf. So that is a free kick to West Ham, 15 yards inside their own half. Looks a very different man, doesn't he? Nuno down there now with his arms crossed, pacing around. I remember watching on television when they lost to Nottingham Forest, and I mean that is just a matter of days ago. Yeah. That's earlier this month, and as you sometimes say, Pat, I thought that coat of his, that padded coat, was on an extremely sugary peg.
Yes.
But now look at him, 2-0 up here at Stamford Bridge, and also West Ham have won a free kick halfway inside the Chelsea half, and
West Ham fans are calling for either a yellow or a red card. It's never a red card, no chance at all.
Fofana with a challenge.
We'll have a look here, he's gone off, he's run across the defender. And to be honest, if it's a free kick, it's a soft one. And also never mind anything else.
And also the ball was heading down into the full-back position.
Oh, there was a little, just seen another angle. It's one of those ones, there's not a drag back, but there's a hand on the shirt. So well done, referee, you got that one right. But I don't think it was a red card, and even a yellow.
Not even a yellow. Castellanos, it was with Fofana. The two of them sort of bumped into each other, and then there was contact again. So it is a free kick, middle of the half. It's the West Ham supporters, you can hear a rare chance for them to really enjoy themselves during the course of this very disappointing Premier League season. Played into the box. Oh, the chance from the angle from Bowen, but goalkeeper Sanchez stood up. It's played in along the ground by Mateus Fernandes into the penalty area. Bowen latched onto it, hit the shot straight at the goalkeeper.
Very naive defending there, incredibly naive. That's not a complicated one. That's just everyone going to the back post and then one player running across and going to the front post and getting the ball free and clean. Now, had Bowen scored there, he might have been just a smidge offside. But to get that amount of time, in fact he was a smidge offside, we've just seen another angle of it and he would have been offside, but it does seem a wee bit naive, that defending.
However, I think listeners will be able to hear the mood.
Yeah, we've been
the
an
locals
angle.
Are not happy.
No, they're not, and because there's a slight unsettlement before it, and it's something deeper, it's something about identity with a number of the Chelsea fans feel about the club at the moment. So they're always on the edge of turning, even though they've gone on this very good run recently.
Yeah, exactly so. Chelsea 0, West Ham 2. That's Pat Nevin. Chelsea attack breaks down. Mateus Fernandes has also been very good in the midfield for West Ham. He rides the challenge of Caicedo, and then Somerville passes it forward, but it was too close to Fofana. Ball all the way back to Sanchez, but there's Castellanos chasing that. They're chasing everything, the West Ham players. I mean, the effort has been upped significantly by Nuno's West Ham team over the course of recent matches.
They're unrecognisable for the team of 6 weeks, 8 weeks ago, whatever, 3 months ago as well. Totally and utterly unrecognisable. They play in a different way, they've got a different style. Every player's working for each other. But see if you try and play that level and 2 or 3 are not doing it, it's a nightmare. But every player's putting the effort in just now. The question remains, John, can they do it for the entire 90 minutes?
Yeah, and can they hold out? No clean sheet since August in any competition. West Ham leading 2-0 here. But that's excellent play from Somerville, who scored a brilliant goal in the first half. Oh, and that's excellent play to take it past Enzo Fernandez, and then he goes down under the challenge from João Pedro and wins a free kick for West Ham. And he's a little star at the moment.
It's a joy to watch, an absolute joy to watch, because I mean, all he wants to do is go past players, and you know he's got lots and lots of skill. I mean, he's gone past Enzo there, and I think the phrase "all ends up" to you add another one of your phrases
from the commentator's view glossary.
Yes,
beat him all ends up.
Yes.
Yeah, that should go in there most definitely.
Stick on.
By the way, the programme we did, the podcast we did with Jonathan Pearce is still available if you search BBC Sounds, and I think if you are a fan of Jonathan's, you'll very much enjoy that. Just search Football Daily.
That would be me then. I'm a big fan of Jonathan.
Yes, we've had some good times together, haven't we? The three of us. Chelsea 0, West Ham 2, and West Ham win the ball back again. Even though Liam Rosenior has made these changes, it's not really getting any better for them. And Bona stepped into the challenge there, and he's come off worst. The West Ham captain has stayed down, but that didn't look a great challenge to me from him.
I don't think you're correct. I didn't think it looked a good challenge from either player.
Cucurella with it on the right. Cucurella back to Pedro Neto. Wan-Bissaka does well. Just a last gasp interception from him, and now Souček is there helping him out. Wan-Bissaka doesn't know that Delap's coming. Delap's won it back from him, but Cucurella then lost out, and in the end Anthony Taylor gives the free kick to West Ham for the challenge by Cucurella on Castellanos.
Very, very keen to see that challenge beforehand. No great complaints from Jared Bowen. He's gone down there, he got hurt a little bit, but it's been one of those games, it's been quite physical. The referee hasn't gone to his boot or gone stopping the game that often. And actually, I take that all back. Neto didn't do anything wrong there at all, and Bowen went but got his foot in the top of the ball, and that pushed his foot onto his opponent. So totally and utterly undeliberate. So Jared Bowen, for me, you're off the hook, mate.
Yeah, still could have been nasty.
It could, but not deliberate.
No.
You can get nasty challenges in football without being deliberate.
Yeah. Castellanos caught offside. Chelsea 0, West Ham 2. I must mention, by the way, after Chelsea's visit to Naples in the week, and a couple of supporters who needed hospital treatment, it's good to see Liam Rosenior and Reece James in the programme today talk about that, say how deeply saddened they were, and all of the Chelsea staff, and they said that they were relieved that they were well enough to actually watch the match in the stand. But it's a real issue. Teams, not just English teams, all teams going to Naples to play a football match against Napoli, really something does need to be done. Here's Enzo Fernandez though, as Chelsea are on the move again. Cucurella on the left against Mavropanos. Ball in, Delap with a touch all the way across the face of goal and beyond the far post. And it remains 2-0 West Ham, but there's a chance.
It looks better now. The changes they made, that left-hand side would have been destroyed in the first half. Both left back and left wing have gone off, and you're getting much, much better from Neto, and particularly Cucurella now. And he's getting forward, he's looking dangerous. That's not to say that they've not been put under pressure by the players they're playing against Bowen and Wan-Bissaka. And whereas it was a one-sided battle, I mean, it's certainly one battle after another, but going both ways on that far side now. So really, really good game of football to watch, and even just that little area of it.
That's the first time I've written down a potential goal-scoring chance for Chelsea in this match. They've put crosses in, corners, but that there, Cucurella creating it, and Delap with the flick. There's Todibo as well against Delap. Just dropped a shoulder, allowed the ball to run. Delap committed himself. Now it's played forward for Castellanos, but all the way through to goalkeeper Sanchez.
Was it impossible to actually commentate on that dummy there and not smile? It was absolutely lovely from Todibo, under massive pressure, and Delap's chasing in and on. And he just does a little step over as if he's playing the five-a-side game around the park. Yes, fabulous play.
A bit of French flair from Jean-Claire as Chelsea have it with Caicedo. He gives it square for Fano, striding forward with the ball, still going for Fano, clips it in, shot Pedro with a header, down and in! And Chelsea have a goal back. Their first attempt on target. With almost an hour played, but Chelsea back in the game. 2-1 West Ham lead now.
But fabulous play down the right-hand side. What a difference it makes. João Pedro in great form just now. He scored two, obviously, over in Italy there, but they just look a different team now. A real belief about himself. It's not poor play in any way whatsoever from West Ham, I don't think. I just think it's a great cross to the back post, and as a centre-back, He's just peeled off the centre back. I have to say, it is a delicious little header, because he's going backwards. He can't get any control on it other than killing it and allowing it to fall off his head and bounce delicately into the far corner. Great goal. They're going to check it for a handball. I don't know about you, John, I didn't see one.
Where was that?
I did not see any handball in the build-up to that.
And very quickly it's been checked on the goal stands. Michael Salisbury had a quick look. Whether it was when Fofana initially controlled the ball, I don't know. Maybe. We haven't seen it again. Anyway, the goal stands. João Pedro has scored his 12th goal of the season, his 9th in the Premier League this campaign, and also that is 4 in his last 3, and he's scored now in 3 consecutive Premier League matches. It kind of makes you wonder, why wasn't he in the starting lineup?
Yeah, and if Chelsea go on to win this game, you know, it's not a mistake. But if they don't manage to get back, and they've given West Ham a 2-goal start, then the question's asked. But at this point in time, you wouldn't bet against Chelsea and getting back for at least a draw and win it, because suddenly they've got all the confidence in the world. They know that Chelsea look like a very balanced side just now. And what we've got now is about 35 minutes of great football to enjoy.
Yeah, Chelsea 1, West Ham 2. We're going to go to Anfield when we get a chance to get the team news ahead of the 8 o'clock kickoff there. But Cole Palmer feels he should have got a free kick down in the West Ham defensive third. It's won back by Chelsea. Different match now. Enzo Fernandez, João Pedro plays it through for Delap, but Todibo has defended that well, and it's through, and it's behind for a goal kick. Chelsea 1, West Ham 2. 5 live from the BBC. The lines are open for 606. Aaron Paul with Chris Sutton tonight, so 08085 909 693. And during 606, Charlie Slater will be updating Liverpool-Newcastle. And you've got the team news, Charlie.
I do. 2 changes for Liverpool from their 6-0 thrashing of Karabakh. Kanate and Kirkes return for Robertson, who drops to the bench, and the injured Frimpong. Newcastle make 3 changes. No Guimaraes at all. Voltemada, Botman and Miley on the bench. Trippier, Barnes and Gordon on his return to Merseyside all start.
So no Guimaraes, even though he was on the bench in Paris. Here's Delap. Delap, then Mavropanos. I thought he might have been fouled there by Delap. Comes back to Palmer. Palmer, his pass through is cleared away to the halfway line by Wan-Bissaka. Mood completely changed.
Yeah, and the game completely changed now. So you're seeing Chelsea completely dominant now, utter belief in it. And it's a number of things. Yeah, you look at João Pedro scored the goal, but the difference has been made by Cucurella, who's now basically playing as a winger. He's dragging Bowen back, so there's no out ball on that right hand side for West Ham. So there's nowhere to go now. So it has to be said, good tactically to make that change at half-time and bring Chelsea back to what they're best at.
Chelsea again come forward, and that's the first movement now from this second half Chelsea team. Delap receives her on the edge of the area, holds it up, gives it to Cucurella. Pedro Neto, left-footed cross, that's headed away by Juve, bounces out of the penalty area. Castellanos jumps for it, comes off him and runs away behind, hits the advertising hoardings. It's another corner to Chelsea, and the feeling inside the ground right now is that for West Ham this might be irresistible, this Chelsea wave of attacks. They've already conceded, so it's going to be 22 matches now since they kept a clean sheet in all competitions. Here's the corner, Pedro Neto. Areola comes and does get both hands to it to push it away to the edge of the box. Then it's cleared further away by Todibo, but Cucurella wins the header, bounces down inside the penalty area off Wan-Bissaka, and he is able to clear it away up towards Somerville, who flicks it forward, but Gusto is there to pass it all the way back to his goalkeeper Sanchez. So Chelsea start again from inside their own half. Chelsea, who will go to Arsenal on Tuesday night. 5 Live will be the place to listen to both of the second legs of the Carabao Cup semi-finals on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Palmer, and then the ball runs away into the path of Neto, but Anthony Taylor had already given the free kick Chelsea's way. Unfortunate for the referee, but they take the free kick quickly. Then the cross from Gusto, cleared away by West Ham. Pedro Neto on the edge of the area, but this time it is Castellanos who is able to move across, take the ball away, Wan-Bissaka getting himself into difficulties there, does clear it up the line, but Chelsea come again. Mateus Fernandes steps in to win it against Enzo Fernandez, but then forward up towards Palmer for Chelsea. Palmer over to Cucurella. Cucurella now looks up again, but that meant that Wan-Bissaka was able to jump in and block it behind for a corner. Wave after wave now, Chelsea.
Yeah, and you look down at Nuno and think, Nuno, you've got to do something now, because your team are getting absolutely terrorised. They can't get a kick. They can't get out.
Chelsea are just getting the ball back in play. They've taken another quick corner. Ball outside the area, they want Gusto to shoot. Square, Caicedo, he's going to have a go. Oh, what a save! What a save by Areola, left to his right. I thought that was bound for the top left corner from Caicedo's right foot. That would have been one of his best. Remember the one he scored against Liverpool. Chelsea take the corner quickly. In it comes into the penalty area again after a short free kick. It's the action is non-stop now from Chelsea. Then the cross from Palmer, deflected into the penalty area. That's headed away by Mavropanos, out for a throw.
It's incredible to say. The Chelsea were 2-0 down, playing absolutely terribly, and now 2-1 up, 2-1 down. You almost can't see them losing this game. It really feels like that just now. And by the way, that save by Areola, I think that'll make the match of the day highlights tonight. I think it's a fair chance.
Yeah, that was a brilliant one. We had a superb view of that, as Jimmy Armfield used to say. We were right behind it. As again, this is Gusto now. His ball across the penalty area, pings around, and West Ham get it away. And he is going to make the change. Nuno, Pat. Maximilian Kilman waiting to come on, another central defender. Get him in there.
I think they're going to go 3 at the back and hope he can last. That sounds like a long time to last.
That is some hope. Over 25 minutes plus added time. Palmer, Chelsea are absolutely purring now, but they are losing. Palmer, left-footed ball, curling into the box. Delap beaten in the air by Mavropanos. Cucurella, he gets there first. Chalobah taps it across. Now back it goes towards the halfway line to Fofana, who put in the cross for that excellent header by João Pedro. Even though he was only a few yards out, as Pat Nevin said, it was the sort of deftness of the header that he just was able to get contact to head it back across goal and in.
Brilliant imagination. You know, to do that, there's only one way to actually get that ball into the net, and it's to actually put your head back in an odd position and let it hit it. And that's exactly what he did. Brilliant.
Seen 3 very good goals, haven't we? And you'll be able to see them new this season. The clips, the goals, they're available on all of the BBC platforms in the Premier League at 8 o'clock at the weekend. Of course, the best place to see it all, match of the day tonight, BBC One, anytime on the iPlayer, and search Football Daily on the BBC Sounds app. The football interview this week is Liverpool's Florian Wirtz. So search Football Daily and you'll find that interview with him. And now the change is being made, and it's Pablo who is being withdrawn. So the forward man comes off and Maximilian Kilman comes on. And this, West Ham are trying to drag this out as long as possible. Cole Palmer's talking to referee Anthony Taylor, who's pointing at his wristwatch and saying that he's going to be adding it all on. But that was one of the slowest walks from Pablo that you'll ever see.
Absolutely. The referee will add on quite a bit at the end, because West Ham will try and kill as much time as possible. And no shock whatsoever, they've gone to a back 3 with those 3 centre-backs in there, and they're just going to try and hold on. And I suspect the last bone to go up and try and get up behind Castellanos as much as they possibly can.
Yeah. Is that do you think that's the right thing to do in the circumstances?
I'll tell you in 25 minutes, mate.
There is the answer of summarising experience for you. Children.
It's the correct one, and many a coach will do it. They'll say, look, there's no way out of this just now. We're not going to be able to take them on man for man. Our team looked hard. West Ham had 11 players that started the game. Chelsea have made 4 substitutions and are purring. So a big adaptation, and try and play in the break if you can.
Yep. West Ham, though, do have a chance to come forward. Mateus Fernandes, here is Castellanos. Castellanos into the air, goes for the low shot, across goal. And Sanchez dived for it. Wasn't sure if he might even have got a finger to it. Anthony Taylor says no, he didn't. It's a goal kick. That's what West Ham are hoping for, that a moment like that can bring them the 3rd goal.
And you've got Bowen going at those areas. You know that you've got the pace of Somerville. You've also got Adama Traore.
Yes.
And he's
new
not
signing.
a slow player that they can bring on as a player on the break. So, he's got a number of options there. And that's maybe one other thing that we've not really touched on tonight. West Ham's improvement. I look at their bench just now, and it's looking a wee bit better than it's looked for a long time.
Yep, Adama Traore, who really hasn't pulled up any trees, has he, at Fulham, but played some excellent football, didn't he, under Nuno at Wolves when they were together. Chelsea 1, West Ham 2. Lines are open to talk to Aaron Paul and Chris Sutton tonight. There will definitely be West Ham and Chelsea callers waiting to talk about this. 08 085 909 693. That is free to ring from your mobile or indeed your landline if you still have one, and 85058 text at your standard message rate to join in 606 tonight. West Ham, well, Maximilian Kilman has just passed the ball straight out of play as he was bringing it forward. He was trying to pass it to Somerville, so it's a throw to Chelsea. We are now into the final quarter of the match. Chelsea back in it with João Pedro's 12th goal of the season. Here's Caicedo. Caicedo just rolls it across to Chalobah, and then over there to Pedro Neto, who backs away. The hair over there on the far side of Cucurella is bouncing away as he receives the ball in his orange boots, and then passes it back to Chalobah on the halfway line. West Ham, really, they had their chances in the first maybe 5-10 minutes of the second half, but now Chelsea are in the groove. Pedro Neto with the ball to the back post, which is headed across goal. Galap off the post, firing in from Cucurella, diving in. It's 2-2, and Chelsea have come from 2-0 down against their rivals from East London, and Cucurella runs away, punching the air. 2-0 down, back to 2-2, Pat.
Well, just 5 minutes ago we said you couldn't see Chelsea not scoring again, because it was so dominant. They're actually playing so well, and it does look very, very good. They've brought on an extra centre-half, West Ham, to deal with crosses into the box, and they don't deal with a cross into the box. Having said that, it was a very, very good one there. Difficult for the goalkeeper to come for. Into the back there. Well defended at the start of it though, but Cucurella, what a difference it makes him. He's a left back, but he spends so much time in that 6-yard line, and he's not a bad finisher, and that's a lovely diving header to get Chelsea level, and they will not be thinking of staying level.
Oh, there's a check for a possible foul now. Is that a push on Kilman? I think it might be by Delap, or at least that's what they're looking at. I have to say, I think the goal should probably stand. It was Kilman, actually, who got the head to the ball, that hit his own crossbar, and then bounced down for Cucurella to dive in and head it in.
Yeah, that would, again, tough one. And we're just going, well, it's a little bit, we're just watching this with Delap's behind him, isn't he? And rather annoyingly, the monitor's just...
Well, we've got a crucial moment here waiting for this decision on VAR.
And Delap certainly has pushed a little bit, and it's had an effect. So the referee might be within his
was
rights.
looking to head it over the bar.
Yeah.
Perhaps with the push. No, the goal stands. The goal stands. Do you know, I think that's one of those decisions where, they've looked at it and decided we've got to make a decision on this. We can't pore over this forensically, and because they couldn't decide that it was definitely clear and obvious, they've stuck with the on-field decision.
It's not absolutely clear and obvious unless you happen to be a West Ham fan, and if you're a West Ham fan and you see that tonight, you will be absolutely fuming. You'll be absolutely spitting feathers. However, Chelsea, they will not sit back now. They are going for it, and they are playing exceptionally well in the second half, making chances at will.
Yeah, they are. Here's Neto, who put the ball in for that second Chelsea goal. Goes for the byline and wins the corner off Wan-Bissaka. And again, no let up from Chelsea. There's no hanging around waiting to take this corner. They get the ball to Neto, he puts the ball in the quadrant, he takes it immediately to Cucurella. And I have to say, that is quite refreshing. Although the only reason they're doing it is because they're in this position and they've got West Ham on the ropes.
And they have to keep them there on the ropes. And if you're West Ham, you try and stop this play.
Here's the corner into the near post. Cucurella tries to head it on and hits a West Ham man. Bounces behind. Final touch, says Anthony Taylor. was off a Chelsea body. It's a goal kick. It's Chelsea 2, West Ham 2. Approaching the hour, it was 2-0 to West Ham. They'd actually started the second half poorly. West Ham had chances, weren't able to get the third goal. Somerville had the shot saved, remember, Pat? The Bowen shot from the angle, although he was offside, wasn't he? But it's suddenly clicked for Chelsea.
It has, and maybe it shouldn't be a shock. You've nothing to lose. You're 2-0 down. You bring back a group of players that are used to playing with each other after putting out a team that, I'm not saying they've thrown together, but it's not a first choice. It's also a group of players that don't work with each other all the time, and there were one or two players who just were having stinkers, whereas now you've got almost the first choice players all out there playing with freedom, and that's when they're at their best.
It is Leinster 14, Edinburgh 15 now in the 5:30 kickoff in the United Rugby Championship. I know that Kenny Crawford is standing by to bring us the team news on the Dundee United Hearts match, which is an 8 o'clock kickoff, so we'll be with you shortly, Kenny. But West Ham are coming forward, but Chelsea win a free kick, so I think now would be as good a time as any to head to you at Tannadice.
Good to hear you, John. Yeah, 4 changes for the hosts. Dundee United, they give a debut to Australian goalkeeper Ashley Maynard-Brewer, signed from Charlton Athletic. Ryan Strain at full-back and Nikolai Moller and Christian Trapanovsky in the forward areas. Also start Richards, Namo, Waters and Sapser drop out. As for Hearts, they change goalkeeper too. Alex Schwalov back in instead of Craig Gordon. Jordi Altena at right back and Oisin McEntee ex-Walsall in midfield. Craig Gordon, Michael Steinbender and Jamie McCart drop to the bench.
Thank you, Kenny. So 8 o'clock kickoff, you'll hear the updates during 6:06 08 085 909 693 to join in with that. You can't keep your eyes or ears off Hearts at the moment, Pat, can you?
Yeah, phenomenal. They've got a few injuries now. There are a few questions will be asked of them, but they've been asked questions all the way through this season and generally come up with answers.
I know we've got commentary, haven't we, on Rangers Hearts in a couple of weeks' time.
Looking forward to it.
You're with Ian at Ibrox for that, Ian Dennis. Here's João Pedro, edge of the area, looking for a winner. Chelsea now, if they got in front, it would be almost impossible to think that West Ham could salvage anything. So they really do have to hold out here, you would say. Palmer. In fact, if they get a third, I wouldn't bet against a fourth. I don't think this Chelsea team that's out there now would let up. And the Chelsea fans, how they felt at half-time when they booed the team off, and the feeling inside Stamford Bridge in the home sections is totally different now.
Yeah, I mean, every day an adventure. When you're a Chelsea fan, it changes so quickly all the time. And as we're talking about that, a change being made by West Ham, you're not really surprised by that because they've worked so hard, and the two players that up front that worked incredibly hard were Pablo and the man coming off just now.
Yep, here he comes, Castellanos, and Anthony Taylor's onto this. He's virtually marching him to the halfway line, the referee. Although he's now set off back, the referee, and Castellanos, let's say that he hasn't upped his pace since the referee left him, and finally he crosses the line now and gets an outstretched hand from...
Here's a suggested rule change for you, John. See if a player's walking off slowly, the referee just says, right, carry on. Just start playing.
Yeah, well,
and you've only got 10 men on the pitch. It's your fault.
Yeah.
And he's not allowed to touch the ball if he's accepted and elected to go off.
Yeah.
That would quicken them up a wee bit, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. Chelsea 2, West Ham 2. Well, Chelsea have needed no hurrying up since they got into their stride.
That's a point I'd like to make to you when we get half a second.
Yeah. Cucurella. Then back to João Pedro's in the box. Cucurella lifts it across nicely. It's headed out of the edge of the area. Gusto leaves it for Pedro Neto. The two of them got in each other. That was actually one of those comical moments, wasn't it? Yeah. It was, as they used to say many, many years ago, a case of after you, Claude.
Yes. I never found out who Claude was.
No.
But the difference between the pace you're talking about there, and it's everyone, but the players that have come on, Fofana gets the ball and drives forward. That wasn't happening for Badia Show, and so much so that he'll put crosses in dangerous areas, and Cucurella.
Yes, Neto again causing problems, curls one in, but it's over the top of Delap and through. Cucurella was trying to reach it, and they were looking to referee Taylor, but he says no, it's a goal kick.
Well, we're trying to get the word Cucurella out before Cucurella almost scored there, because he is flown forward. I mean, ostensibly left back, but we know what he's like. Well, tonight he's like that with bells on. He's flying forward, he's getting in good positions, he's already scored. And lots of things have made a difference to this second half. I don't know if anyone's made more of a difference than Cucurella.
Reece James is being readied, I think, by Liam Rossigna. That would be his 5th change. And producer George Cummins has quickly discovered that After You, Claude, originated with some of our BBC forebears from the old radio commentary from the home service days. It's that man again, Itmar, as the programme used to be known.
Very impressive.
That is where After You, Claude, supposedly was derived from. Chelsea.
I'm delighted to see it before my time.
Well, likewise, Pat. Chelsea 2, West Ham 2. You can ask Mark Chapman about it next week. As the ball is played into Gusto, back to Palmer. Palmer then back to Chalobah. He gives it to Caicedo. The ball is rolled out there to the far side. Neto, who's been excellent actually in the second half. In comes the goal. Delap with the header, but couldn't get any power on it from probably 12 yards out, slightly underneath it, and the ball just floated straight through to Areola, who could catch it.
Did you half expect Areola to fall to the ground there when he caught that, as he used to do? Well, tough luck, mate, because still only get 8 seconds whether you fall to the ground or not.
Yeah. West Ham, rare respite for them. Bowen takes the ball into the box, shoots from the angle, but straight at Sanchez, who was able to catch it, pat it down, took it out quickly to the edge of the area, and after that attack, West Ham need to get back. Oh, lovely touch from Neto away from Kilman. Now Delap approaching the penalty area. West Ham have got buddies back in claret and blue, and the pace of the Chelsea attack, the momentum slows. Palmer, however, across to Fernandes. Now Cucurella's ball straight into Wan-Bissaka, but the ball stays in play, and so Chelsea still have it just outside the penalty area. Chalobah, little pass, João Pedro looks up, he curls it in, but too close to goalkeeper Areola. It was over the top of everyone, and Areola was able to drop forward and catch it. That goal, by the way, from Cucurella, I was actually thinking this yesterday, he scored 7 goals. He was quite a potent source of goals last season. That's his first of this campaign.
I mean, he gets into brilliant positions, but it's surprising that that's his first this season, because he's certainly had a few chances.
He has.
And by the way, we talked about the confidence that West Ham had early in the game. You can't even smell that now. It's miles away.
Well, Chelsea have knocked it out of them.
Yeah, and brilliantly so. There are lots of changes going to be made now, and understandable, because this game has been played at a brilliant pace.
Yeah, and Reece James is going to come on, but first of all, West Ham are going to take off their captain, Jared Bowen, Adama Traore is coming on to make his West Ham debut in place of Jared Bowen, and also Oliver Scarles is going to come on from El Hadj Malik Diouf, so that's a straight swap as well. Surprised by Bowen coming off?
I was, but just a moment ago, you mentioned the fact that Bowen went down the right hand side there and had a shot from a very acute angle. When the ball broke out, Cucurella ran off him and lost him by 20 yards. You can't do that. You need someone who's going to stay with Cucurella now. So in actual fact, John, no, it doesn't.
And James for Gusto, so that's a straight swap as well. So James playing his right back, which isn't always the case. And here he is, taking possession of the ball now on the right wing. Chelsea 2, West Ham 2. It was 2-0 to West Ham, who were excellent in the first half, as Chelsea were disappointing. Bowen and Somerville scored the goals. But then, in the second half, after a couple of chances came and went for West Ham to extend their lead, Chelsea really upped it. João Pedro with a header, then Cucurella, and there was a moment where we wondered if the goal would be ruled out for a foul by Delap on Kilman, but it stood, so it is 2-2. Raking pass to James on the right, who volleys it across, but too close to the goalkeeper, and Areola is able to catch it. How long have we got to go? Less than 10 minutes to go.
Do you know how much, listeners remember how much in the first half we were talking about how terrible Chelsea were on the left-hand side and how good West Ham were? Well, they've hardly got the pitch on the right-hand side this time. It just shows you the difference. However, Traore and the ball now might change that.
Here he is, Traore, step over, taking on Cucurella. West Ham debut for the Spanish international. Goes for the byline, but the cross was cleared away. That might have been a foul in the middle by Callum Wilson as well. Well, referees allowed it to play. play to continue, and Chelsea clear it back to the halfway line. Todibo over there to Wan-Bissaka, and now West Ham. This must be the first time, probably for 20 minutes.
Words out of my mouth, John.
West Ham have actually had a period of possession of the football. But that was some 20 minutes by Chelsea.
It was breathless, and they kept up, and it was every free kick, every throw-in was taken quickly. I mean, they just couldn't get control of the ball, and you want to do that. If you know your team's struggling, you want to get the ball, you want to play it simple, you want to hold it, the classic get the foot in the game stuff. They just haven't had a chance to do that.
I think maybe Chelsea are just steadying themselves for what might be the big push, but at the moment they're just standing off. West Ham, and Somerville gives it to Scholes. Ollie Scholes then passes it back to Kilman. Heavy-ish touch from Kilman. Delat was almost in. Back to Areola. Long through the middle, looking for Callum Wilson. Wilson is able to actually take it away from Caicedo. Two of them tangle again. The ball runs down into the full-back position, and then Fofana's able to receive it, put his foot on it, and pass it to the halfway line. West Ham have got it back though. Mateus Fernandes. This must have been a familiar feeling from the West Ham supporters as Chelsea came back at them, but they are still level in the match. And in the context of everything, this would be a good point if West Ham are able to come out of this with anything. Wan-Bissaka, Souček pushing forward, crosses it, hits Cucurella, shouts for a handball. There wasn't much distance between Souček and Cucurella when it was blasted at him. So if Anthony Taylor saw it, thus far he's dismissed it. West Ham come again with Somerville though, he's the danger man now. Somerville though is well challenged by Caicedo. Caicedo gets back at him and again, and Somerville goes sprawling down. Exaggerated the reaction. It was a foul though, and it's a yellow card for Caicedo.
Got to be, I'm sorry John, it's got to be a yellow card there. Caicedo thought he got control of it, and he was tackled back there, and he frustratedly lashed out. Now I agree, maybe Somerville made a little bit more of it, but that's a lash out when he's never going to get the ball for Caicedo. Yet another yellow card for the man.
Yet another yellow card for him, but I think it's not the first yellow card of the match.
Yeah,
I think it is.
I think there might have been one more. I think off the top of my head there was one more.
Just having a look to see if there was. I'm not sure there was, you know. Free kick, which is played into the back post. It's deflected. Back to Souček. He drives it across. Oh, it's a chance, but it's put over the top. Edge of the 6-yard box. Todibo was in there. It came to him quickly. He snatched at it and sent it over.
I don't know how he's missed it, John. I really don't. I thought it must be an amazing save by the goalkeeper. I mean, he's not had much time. He's actually hit the post. He smashed it low. It's hit the side of the post. Keeper absolutely nowhere near it. Wow, that would have been a shock. For a good couple of 2, 3, 4 minutes, West Ham. So the changes that have been made by Nuno, it's taken him a wee while to make those changes, but had a wee effect there.
We're into the last 5 minutes. What an entertaining match it's been. London derby, real feeling, good atmosphere. The West Ham fans have brought that inside Stamford Bridge, particularly the way the match went in the first half. And it is level at 2-2, and West Ham, that chance comes and goes. Flicked the post from Todibo. Here's Neto. Chelsea are back inside West Ham territory. That was the first yellow card of the match. Here's Neto on the right, but he tries to turn it in, and actually, as he does so, he collides with one of the stewards who was sitting on the pitch next to the hoardings. He must have felt that. It's like a water off a duck's back, wasn't it? Neto landing on top of him. It's barely reacted.
Do you know when I'm very impressed by the steward as a player? You know, you've got all the adrenaline. You can smash in the end, and you hardly feel it. Whereas if you're sitting there and someone goes and hits you, well done.
If that steward had been a Premier League footballer, he would have been writhing around.
I think he'd still be down.
Yeah, I think he would. But you'd hardly know he was involved in it.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Chelsea 2, West Ham 2. We'll have more Premier League thrills and spills for you tomorrow on 5 Live. Manchester United, Fulham at 2 o'clock. Aston Villa Brentford will be on Sports Extra. Nottingham Forest Crystal Palace on Sports Extra 2. And then Clinton Morrison will be with me at Tottenham for Spurs against Manchester City. And the boxing is now on air on Sports Extra, live from Newcastle. And then later from 9 o'clock on 5 Live, which features the Josh Kelly World Title fight. So that is later. And also the tennis in the morning. Don't miss that. It's on 5 Live. Absolute feast of live sport this weekend. This match not finished yet. Chelsea with Cucurella. Back to Fernandes. This would be an absolute heartbreaker for West Ham if Chelsea do find a way through and win it. James, heavy touch. Scarles was in there.
Chelsea have so many players that can do it, John. And to be fair, Cole Palmer has done so little in this game. You just think something might involve him.
Here's James on the right against Scarles, turns, gets the ball in all the way across the 6-yard box. Areola jumped for it, didn't get a touch. It's kept in over on the far side. Now played into Cucurella. Caicedo. Back it comes to Chalobah. Chalobah works it all the way over here to the right-hand side. We're almost in the 90th minute. 2-2, James. And then it's curled in by Fofana. Areola comes, gets a punch. Thought he might have been able to catch that, but he punched it quite spectacularly after a leap. And it bounces out of play for a throw, which is taken back to Chalobah. West Ham have got everyone back. Callum Wilson trots back in there as well to join them. Caicedo with the ball at his feet. Neto looks to cross, uses Cucurella. There's no sort of the ball's stationary here. Chelsea, because West Ham are parked in their own defensive third, Chelsea are going to have to find a way, find a bit of craft and imagination to get through them. Ball play. James with the volley across goal, rattling around the box. Palmer with a shot, deflected away from goal, and it bounces out of play now for a throw to Chelsea level the edge of the penalty area.
Well, Reece James has been brilliant since he came on. The amount of crosses, and they've been brilliant crosses he's put in from the right hand side there. But when that ball dropped to Cole Palmer, I just thought, yeah, that's his moment. But saved and blocked within 6 yards.
Couldn't find a way through that congested West Ham box. 2-2 the score. 6:06 open for business. 08085 909 693. Enzo Fernandez with a cross, headed up in the air by Mavropanos, then headed further away by Scarles, headed further away by Somerville, nodded back for Chelsea to the edge of the area, headed down and away, and then Souček. He's beaten to it by João Pedro. West Ham can't get it away from the edge of their own box. Delap, now João Pedro. As Todibo arrives there, it came off João Pedro and bounced all the way through for a goal kick. And we see from the big board of officialdom, which is being held high by Robert Jones on the side of the pitch, 5 minutes of added time.
Do you know, I'm looking around and there are a number of people leaving at the 90th minute. It shocks you, really, doesn't it? It really does, because this has been a great second half. It's absolutely in the balance, and you know that these 5 minutes could produce something special.
Well, Chelsea have always had a reputation for attracting the high rollers, Pat.
Yeah.
Maybe they've got things on down the King's Road this evening that they can't be late for. Chelsea 2, West Ham 2. Kilman heads it forward. The Bubbles song breaks out among the West Ham supporters. Chelsea come again. Delap, it's well defended though against him, but then Palmer plays it past Scarles. Might have just taken a little nick from the West Ham defender. He went down, Palmer, but he's back up now. He has been, it is a bit of an ongoing thing, isn't it, for Cole Palmer, this groin problem that he's been managing. Palmer, and now the chance, which is angled back across the penalty area. It is! Fernandes! Found a way through! Off comes the shot! Chelsea fans on their feet! And Chelsea have come from 2-0 down! And that is a sickener for Nuno and West Ham! But this is the Rosenior spirit of Chelsea, perhaps! Chelsea 3, West Ham 2!
Well, if you've been listening to the commentary, you're not shocked, because Chelsea have been really, really good this second half. They put West Ham under phenomenal pressure. West Ham have just went further and further back. They've only been out of their half for about a minute of this 45. They will, of course, check this again, but I could not see a thing wrong with that goal there. And they haven't created a whole bunch of chances, Chelsea, but you knew that a crack would eventually come open, and Enzo has really had little involvement in this game so far. Arriving late is what his speciality is. He's done that, he's just got his head down, hit it towards goal, and he's got lucky because he's hit it into the ground. It's bobbled up past the defender and the goalkeeper, and it's because it's not a perfect strike, that's why it's landed in the net.
Well, what a change inside Stamford Bridge. Suddenly now, empty blue seats appear in the West Ham section. Chelsea were booed off at half-time.
And rightly so.
And the West Ham supporters, as I said, in the build-up to that goal, we heard a chorus of bubbles. That chance now, though, that Todibo had on the edge of the 6-yard area, that he wasn't able to convert. West Ham could have been 3-2 up. Instead, Gusto's angle ball across the penalty area, and the right foot shot from Enzo Fernandez, as Pat says, it sort of bubbled it down, and that took it beyond the West Ham defenders and Areola. And Chelsea lead 3-2, and now Chelsea are on for what would be 6 wins out of 7 under Liam Rosenior.
Yeah, and before half-time it didn't look likely, but we also knew there was going to be massive changes. The attitude would be different in the second half, and it had to be, and it was, and it may take a few minutes, but when it did adapt, when it did change, Chelsea have been fabulous in the second half. They've really been a joy to watch, and they've been bordering on impossible to play against.
Yeah, from not from half time, actually probably from about, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes into the second half, but suddenly they just went zoom.
Yeah, I think a lot of it came from, oddly enough, a lot of it came from Cucurella. I mean, he started it, he pushed it forward, and as we speak now, have a look at Cucurella now. He's flying.
Here he is, on the overlap into the full-back position, as I suggested probably about 15 minutes ago. In fact, Chelsea's still coming. Neto across, oh, Palmer in the middle, left foot, and he's absolutely skied it. 8 yards out, and it lands halfway up the lower tier of the Matthew Harding stand. I think it's only just come down now.
Well, you call it sky, I'm going for ballooned. That was terrible, and you have to be honest about it. When Cole Palmer of old, you almost look away knowing that's going to end up in the back of the net. That went above the second tier. It was extraordinary.
I'm not sure how you analyse what's happened to Chelsea here. Oh, they played in midweek in Naples. Liam Rosenior made 7 changes. He picked, I say, what you might call a bit of a funny-looking team for a match like this against West Ham, but then decisive, makes changes, and suddenly, and we've got trouble here, because Cucurella has got involved with Adama Traore. Now other players are getting involved as well. Pushing, shoving, it's a mass scrap now next to the corner of the pitch, and actually has someone come over the or is it the goalkeeper? It is.
Yeah.
They're right up against the hoardings together, and it's still continuing. They're in 2 different sections now, and still it continues. Palmer's involved. Well, virtually everyone's involved.
Well, everyone is. I mean, including both goalkeepers.
Areola's come from the very opposite end of the pitch, and now finally it is all beginning to calm down. And it started with Adama Traore and Cucurella, and it just depends what Anthony Taylor has seen of all of this, and whether indeed there were actual proper punches being thrown there, or whether it was just pushing and shoving. I think it seemed the latter, but I mean, it was going on all over that section of the pitch.
Well, it's the furthest away part from where we're actually standing. Now the referee, he actually has to listen now. The game's just about finished. With 5 minutes extra, but we're 96.5 minutes in. He's got to listen to what VAR are saying, because they'll have a good look at it. And to be honest, it lasted so long there.
There's a lot to look at.
There is a hell of a lot to look at.
Adama Traore hurled over Cucurella and then pushed away João Pedro. And
there's 2 yellows have been
got involved. And I think Sanchez, the goalkeeper, came in and he looked as though he started kicking out.
It's going to be surprise you, John, but João Pedro and I think Fernandes have been booked, and I didn't see them involved in it. So the referees, there's so much to see here.
Well, I think
they
yellow
could
card
spend.
shown.
Yeah. They could spend 10 minutes.
João Pedro and Scarles.
Was it Scarles, right?
Oh, and Fernandes was booked earlier, by the way, for taking his shirt off.
So you look at it and now he's done that, but he's waiting for more. And then the red card for violent conduct, that's surely
Todibo on João Pedro.
There could be a number.
And I think Sanchez. I think Sanchez could be in trouble because he unnecessarily got involved in that. But certainly Todibo on João Pedro. And this was what happened next to the advertising hoardings. They all came together.
But this is the upside and the downside of VAR. If you look at this right, you might get the right decision, but we'll be here for another 10 minutes because so much happened there. You really have to look through every single angle of every single player of 22 people in a scrap that was spread across 45 yards.
Might be a good time to point out that the less aggressive sport of boxing is on 5 Sports Extra right now.
By the way, with the football, it's going to be a corner to West Ham.
Yeah, but we are waiting here because they are checking for video assistant referee is checking for possible red card or cards.
Yeah, before that comes up, there was a punch.
Mavropanos as well.
Yeah, that looks bad.
Sort of put his hand into the side of Cole Palmer's face. It was I wouldn't say it was a slap. It was a sort of tap.
As soon as you move your hands to your face,
so
the Mavropanos
could be in trouble.
By the way, the other thing I had, we mentioned the fact that Areola had come up and he was involved. He will claim, no, he's just come up for the corner kick
yes,
at the end. He'll claim that, of course. Yeah,
but
maybe that's
as
one
far as
that
I can work out. Mavropanos, Sanchez, Todibo, they could all be in danger of being shown a red card here.
And by the way, don't forget.
Oh, and now Anthony Taylor is being called across to the big screen. This could be red card carnage, Pat.
This could be, yeah. This is before you get to. You've got substitutes come on who might actually get sent off as well, Adama Traore, because he's throwing some. Just tell the listener, it was mayhem out there. Absolute mayhem.
We could have 1, 2, 3 or 4 red cards about to be shown
all
here.
over the place.
I mean, the referees had a look. We've actually got a screen showing him having a look at it. Right, here he comes.
After review.
There is the rectangle. Here's the announcement.
West Ham number 25 grabs Chelsea 20 round the throat in a violent manner. Therefore, my final decision will be red card for violent conduct.
That's Todibo sent off. Is that going to be the end of it?
You wonder, because he didn't look at anything else while he was over at the screen. And we had a little sort of watch at the screen there. He didn't seem to look at anything else, but we wonder if that's just a full stop before another sentence starts. But anyway,
well, some players are very fortunate in there not to receive a red card, and only Todibo. So that's a 3-match suspension for Todibo, incidentally.
And he'd been great today as well.
Yeah.
And by the way, let's not forget, 3-2, West Ham on a corner, goalkeeper's up. It's still not finished.
And we are in the 11th minute of added time. It's 3-2 to Chelsea. Here's the West Ham corner. Areola goes for it, but it's headed away by Chalobah. And that is it. There is the final whistle. That was the last action. After that extended kerfuffle at the end of what has been a thrilling football match, and Chelsea's players here are truly celebrating this, coming from 2-0 down against West Ham. I mean, they were distant second best in the first half. They were booed off at half-time, 2-0 down. Bowen and Somerville scoring the goals, but Liam Rosenior made his changes after his strange initial team selection. João Pedro scored, Cucurella scored, and then Enzo Fernandez with the winner, 3-2 Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, so much to put in that game today though, but you have to make changes there, managers. Some players need rest. There's a lot of games, there's a lot of competitions, and if you're Chelsea, sometimes you have to make those decisions, but you've got to give Liam Rosenior his due. He knew by half-time, and by the way, He'd been making a big mistake if he hadn't spotted it, and would have questioned his knowledge if he hadn't spotted it. Had to make big changes for that second half. He did. He went back to not exactly basics, but what Chelsea know, what those players are good at, the system that they feel comfortable in, and they were superb in that second half.
So he comes out of this well.
You remember, I don't know if you remember asking me halfway through the game about systems and making a decision, and it all depends. That could have been so different. Todibo could have scored. He could have made it 3-2, and it would have been seen as naive. Whereas now, Liam Rosenior, he'll say, well, wait a minute, I had to rest players, but I've made a big change at half time. I knew I had to be, and now it feels like tactical genius, and well done him. And it is, because you won. But you have a look at Chelsea's recent games, and some of the recent games. Brentford, they won 2-0. Well, they're a bit lucky there. I watched the Napoli game as well. A wee bit lucky there. Let's be fair, John, they could have been 3-4 down at half time against West Ham. So they got to get this sorted out a wee bit. But I will say something about Chelsea. They're great fun to watch at the moment. Yep. Entertaining, but quite well done there, West Ham.